We are back again, and we're now in the swing of things. Welcome to Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. Spike Lou, Rich, Big Rich Town, how you fellas doing?
Doing all right, man. Hey, I got a real quick, Mo. Real quick. Just want to ask you a question. Before we started recording today, we were having a conversation about, hip hop, the beef that's going on. You got a little bit animated. You got a little excited. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was some big nigga instead of some podcaster standing here, would you still turn up like that?
Oh, absolutely. I've got my feet Slamano on.
Hey,
I'll grab the biggest motherfucker.
I don't know.
I ain't no little nigga.
Hey, that might be a preview for the line of the episode, man. That shit gets me weak every single time.
I can't.
Every single time I see that scene,
I can't wait. See, that's what makes it really great to not know.
Hold on, was that this episode? That's next episode. My bad.
Man,
my bad. I blew it on.
I was like,
you stepped on it a little bit.
I stepped on it. I'm sorry.
I didn't even know what he was referring to.
I thought
Lorraine. You don't remember that scene,
bro? I thought that we was on episode 1 when y'all were doing it. I was like, oh shit, I watched the wrong.
Bro, I thought I did
shit
too.
Pulled up and everything.
Man, that's me. That's my bad, man. That's what I thought.
Y'all scared the shit
I forgot that's
Phil's
Phil's second episode, not his first episode.
Bro, I thought I watched the third episode. I was like, oh my god.
I thought I watched the second one and we hadn't done the first one, man. I just been so busy.
To all the listeners,
we on one.
To all the listeners out there, that cold intro that I just tried, that fits for episode 3. Not this episode 2. So I already done blew it, man. Next week, just go back to this episode, listen, you'll catch on, man.
Yeah, we'll remix the next episode.
But that was episode 1. Are you talking about the story that he told?
No, I'm talking about when Lorraine. I
got you.
Shouts out
she was in the bar.
Yep.
And Phil came in with the telephone book.
My man Phil.
I know exactly.
Big.
That's what I was. That's what I was referencing, man.
Got you.
Yeah, but
damn, I hate when I wasted a.
That's all right. You so good. You so mean with it. You can come up with a whole nother scheme with it. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Charlie Clips. But before we talk about
battle
hey man, what are you gonna do? But before we get into the Spike Lou synopsis of this episode, of course we like to acknowledge the supporters of ours. So we'll start with our email. We got a email from Ikena. Let me make sure I spread it so I can see the whole name. Ikena Aniyima. I don't know it. I don't know. I'm not going to even try to lock in what ethnicity that is. I have an idea, but I'm not going to be ignorant because I'm not familiar. But the subject line is, glad to have you back. She says, hey, folks. Or they say, hey, folks. It's good to have you back. I've been listening for a few months, and now I've finished the show. I've got a few gripes with Tony and Adriana. Parentheses, she comes from a mob family, man. Why was she so stupid with the FBI? Anyways, I'm looking forward to more breakdowns and laughs. What does IYKE mean?
I know.
IYKE
from London.
That's a great question. I don't know. It's probably some kind of London. It's probably one of those
I'm not
acronyms or something that
so I don't know.
Hey, spin the block. Hey, I Kenna, spin the block on that. Please let us know. We not as young as we might sound on the pod. So, like, spin the block on us. Let us know what that abbreviation means in today's times. But they're from London, so shouts out to London, bruv.
Dope,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if this is accurate.
IYKE, is that it?
Yeah, IYKE.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna guess. But yeah, if they can spin the block and let us know what that means, that'd be dope.
That'd be great. Yeah. So shouts out to that individual. I love it. And I'm glad that this is the companion that you've chose to watch The Sopranos through. Another one we got from our man Chris Falone. He says, interesting convo. Yeah, we love Chris Falone over here.
Shout out to Chris.
Interesting convo on AJ today, man. Always hated him because I think he's the most unauthentic character in reference to the Italian American experience. My upbringing was very familiar to how Tony describes his. My house was extremely stern and lots of beatings.
That's
Boy, is this not resonating,
Christopher
brother?
Long sure he not black.
Yeah,
Bro.
man.
Not black,
Hey,
Chris?
Oh, Shaft over here.
that's our experience too, Chris.
Bro, this was also the case of many of my friends. In our community, kids are not brought up like AJ, but it may be David Chase trying to show that Tony is more of a Wonder Bread wop. Obviously, it's a reference from season 1, Boca, when he was hanging with the wops when they were golfing. You know what I mean? So that was a great callback. He's saying that Tony's a Wonder Bread wop, or more of a white man than he realizes. As the generation progresses, assimilation is guaranteed, which makes Tony a lot closer in character to Cusimano than to Furio.
Man.
That's an interesting conversation.
Really interesting.
There's a lot. There's a lot that I'm thinking, but it's not. This isn't the platform for it. But that's a very interesting topic. Like, I would love to talk to Chris and get more and have a deeper conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have I told y'all at some point once we finish the series, we're gonna have some special guests on here, like people that have been listening, and like just we're gonna have some wonderful guest appearances just from people that just rock with us like that. And then I believe lastly, of course, we got a lot of love from just the return, people resharing and reposting our stuff. But lastly, of course, Bricks V, he hits us. He says tapped in, and he said also Robert Loggia, the actor for Feach, was supposed to be an ally to Tony, but he kept forgetting his lines, which is what I was referring to. So they wrote him off. He says Rich probably mentioned this on the pod when I continue listening. Great job as always. So I think he commented early because he reshared at a certain stage of it, but I think he didn't get to the point when I had actually mentioned this. But nonetheless, we thank the supporters of ours for writing in. Y'all can hit us up, goodearnerpod@gmail.com or goodearnerpod_Sopranos on Instagram if y'all want to share some love or share some theories or thoughts or whatever. We're open to it. But it's time to
thank y'all, man. For real. Yeah. Thank y'all. Every week, I don't care. I'm gonna take some time and say thank y'all, specifically on top of what Mo said, just because it means so much to do this week in, week out, and to know y'all out here rocking with it, man. And because I'm a fan of it too. I'm a fan of the work. I'm a fan of these two brothers I record with, and I think it's a good product. So for y'all to feel the same way I do, I know I'm not crazy.
And I want to echo the sentiments that Spike said, or maybe Spike can say it, but like you were saying, something about people telling us about their first watch and then how they came across our podcast and when did they start listening to us. Anytime y'all email us in, I think that would be great. Just Absolutely. So we can get an idea of you, and keep hitting us up, just like G Money Baby, Double XL, like just keep hitting us up. Like, yeah, our dog, man, and Chris Malone. So y'all just keep hitting us up. Like we actively communicate with y'all on air. So we love y'all and we appreciate y'all. But Spike Lou, what episode are we reviewing today, brother?
Mo, first, like you said, when you write into us, let us know if you're watching this for the first time, if you're rewatching it, and if you are rewatching it, how many times have you seen it? That would be dope to add to context of the comments coming in. This is episode 2, season 5, entitled The Rat Pack. Fellas, in this episode, Tony finds out a business partner has been turned by the feds, and it turns out a lot more people have been talking than we'd expected. We lost Carmine Lubertazzi with a great blow. Our cousins told us that he invented point shaving. Tony's cousin, Tony B, is back after 15 years away, and he knows what he wants to do to earn since his cousin is now the boss of the family. A power vacuum seems to be emerging or brewing in New York, and Adriana struggles with talking to the feds. This is season 5, episode 2, entitled The Rat Pack.
And we go to the opening scene. Tony and Blackjack Masseron. Except this whole scene up is a rainy scene. There's these guys in a car. Tony's eating. Jack Masseron. We were introduced to him. Was it season 1 or 2? Do y'all remember? Obviously, he was a part of the construction for Junior when Tony took over that racket.
We actually seen the character, or
yeah, we've
we
seen
heard
him
about
before.
it?
Like when they were walking, like in the they were outside. It was the daytime. They were walking in like the parking lot of like it looked like a mall almost. But I definitely like I think they were talking about the black workers and how they were like
he the construction
he
or
was a
he the
construction dude,
construction
right?
site.
So but we were introduced to him somewhere season 1 or 2, but I think it was season 1.
Yeah, because it was season 2. It was season 2.
Season 2, okay.
He's only in 3 episodes in the entire series. Season 2, he was in season 4, and then this is his last. Well, never mind.
If y'all watch this at this point, y'all know by the end of this episode he get murked. But
So what was the decision about macaron?
Yeah, but so what did y'all think about this? This episode is called Rat Pack, and I'm gonna allude to that a little bit more. I imagine we all kind of got the same idea on it, but like he pulls up, he got the the most hat on. They're sitting down. He brings the Rat Pack photo, painting or image, canvas, whatever you want to call it, to Tony, and they're having this conversation. But ironically enough, nobody else is really in this restaurant. What did y'all gather from this scene?
For me personally, it was a great observation. Obviously, if you're watching it as a viewer, you're just setting up. This is some business. It's not unusual for Tony to meet with some connects out here. What is unusual is for one of them to bring gifts. Specifically with the words, I saw this and I thought of it. Big red flag. We've talked on this show about how observant Tony is, right?
Okay.
We don't have that kind of relationship, bro. Like, I know people think it's cool and it's dangerous being in a mob, but the mob is really a business. This is my business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not doing that. When you're not bringing me gifts, I'm not out in the mall. I'm not out and about, and I see something to say, you know what? That reminds me of Jack Masserone. I'm about to get that for him. Like, so that's automatically one of those things. Tony doesn't necessarily pick up on it, but the scene does a great job of showing how naturally he is to avoiding certain questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Jack's asking those specific things, he's like a little soggy, if you ask me, talking about the pie. Like
Mm-hmm.
just completely ignoring it. It's just second nature to him to not even like engage in that bullshit.
Yeah.
So we see Jack acting squarely. If you don't pick up on it, you do by the time the scene ends. But we know, especially when he says, I can't take off the hat, I'm on the road game, that he's involved with the feds. It's only just sitting there, business as usual, but he doesn't know it, but he knows something's off. Like I said, it's almost like second nature. Like that meeting was a little weird, but it's nothing to really think about. I just love how they played it.
Yep, I do think they played it wonderfully in the sense of Tony. I don't know if he even picked up if something was going on, but we as the viewer got to see with the Rat Pack photo and then the hat. Like the hat, the more that I look at this scene, it's just out of place. And like white men like that, you don't wear hats like you don't sit down and eat with a hat like that on. And the fact that even Tony was like, "Hey man, get comfortable, bro. Take your hat off." That's the same thing as far as when if we notice something in our culture when we talking to someone and it just don't seem right, like bro, like why you still got your jacket on or something similar to that. But I do think the little small nod to him still having the hat on goes to, and we'll get to this later, as far as Tony really should have picked up on it in this booth, but he didn't realize it until it was brought to his attention. And it goes to what we always talk about here as far as this being the end of things. I think they're alluding to Tony like not being as much on his P's and Q's as we, the viewer, think he should be.
I think y'all both have, I think both of y'all have made wonderful points. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, Jack Masserone has a hat on and you have a head full of hair. So you're saying that like what, you're balding at the top all of a sudden?
And you look crazy right here, right now.
I'm saying you have a full head of hair. Anybody with that much hair, they don't really wear hats like that. Like, let's be very clear. Like, you're not just throwing a hat on with that, like that volume as some of white people that we may know, that type of volume. You're not wearing a hat like that, bro. Like,
let me ask. I'm sorry. I gotta ask this. I've always wanted this my entire life, and I just want to. We have a diverse background of listeners. Maybe there are some.
Shouts out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to y'all, man. But maybe there's some Anglo-Saxons or some people who can help me out with this. Yeah, can help me out with this. I never understood why it was so difficult for other cultures just not to accept the full body. I know we got a couple. We got a couple. You know, we. I know we got like Sherman Hemsley, like R.I.P. and stuff like that. There's a few. Uncle Phil. Yeah, James Avery, that never fully embraced it, but I feel like that's very much a white thing. Like even Tony, and the reason I'm bringing this up in context of the show, when he said he's on the road game, Tony looked up and kind of gave a little smirk, almost like, "The fuck you doing that for?" Like I'd never do that. Like the same way I personally would never do the Beijing and dye my shit. Like nah, like I'm doing. If God gave me grades, it's time to rock the grades. That's just me. But you know, Larry David, I just see the side Artie Bucco. Tony losing some up top. Man, it's just always funny. Man.
It always is funny to me, bro. Like, unless you got some weird head shape, you got to go ahead and rock the ball to you.
Yeah, my head shape ain't the slightest, but I could never do the exactly because y'all imagine like
bro.
Matter of fact, one day
doing at this point. Yeah, like what are we doing at this point? Like, bro, having the side joints. They don't know
how ridiculous it is. That's the problem. Like, you don't have. I'm not gonna say you need a black person in your corner, but you need somebody that's blatantly honest.
Be niggas that do it too, though. That's crazy, though.
I'm going to
see somebody with
black dudes doing that.
Like, bro, what are you doing?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. if I ever lose, because I can still grow my hair. I got a little bit on top right now. My hairline just all the way back here. But if I ever lose a bet to either one of y'all, I'll come on the pod with the Uncle Phil.
You gonna do the Shaquille O'Neal joint when he?
Yeah, I'll do the Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, I'll do it.
I wouldn't want to do you. I got too much love for you, bro.
Yeah, I got so much love. I would not be.
I couldn't even have you out here like that.
I appreciate that,
bro. I'll be legit confused when brothers decide to, like, when you decide to do the all around thing versus
and they'll get it lined
up, like the drop top.
Bro, come on,
line it up.
The drop top.
You went to a barber.
Like, yeah, somebody.
I was a barber. I'd be confused if I was the barber and be like, bro, you
get out my chair. Get out my chair.
Yeah, like what we doing?
Yeah, man. Go play chess. Bro. Go play checkers.
Yeah, stop this. Stop, please.
Yeah, man. Go change the DVD.
Yeah, like
the drop top joint. The drop top is crazy.
We call it the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, that's definitely cul-de-sac, bro.
It's
absolutely
crazy.
Yeah, cul-de-sac.
That's Stag Trail. That's
what you doing at that point,
bro. Stag Trail.
633 Stag Trail.
Come on, man. Call back, huh?
Man, bro.
Yeah. All right, man. If any one of our listeners, man, could explain, maybe it's just.
Please explain.
I don't know. I would just love to know.
I would be so grateful if y'all had explained to me why they hold on. I would be so grateful. Shouts out to Hulk Hogan,
let that shit go, bro.
That shit crazy.
It is, but yeah, shout out to Hulk Hogan, man.
Hot Tub Time Machine, dude. There's a ton of
there's a lot of it happens. It's a thing,
and it's so common that it don't.
It's one of the most confusing things in life for me. Like
people go.
That's why I asked, man. That's why I asked. I'm not trying to be funny. I had to know.
Bro, just chop that off, bro.
Especially if you got a beard, bro. If you got a beard, bro, you gonna be all right. You got a beard.
I hope my dog Chris Falone can come through, man. Chris Falone, man. I know you got me.
Please let us know.
You got me. I know you're gonna explain this.
And lastly, on that subject, like people go as far as like, bro, they'll let it grow and create a ponytail. Like, you know, them old white dudes that be having like kind of that rock star. They might ride a motorcycle and they'll let the cul-de-sac live, and they'll have like the ponytail going down with the cul-de-sac. They might have put a bandana on the baldy part. Yeah, man, they be wilding, bro. Like, you see what y'all need is y'all need a black person around, because a black person gonna give you some brutal honesty. They're gonna let you know where
you could have just stopped that. You need a black person around. You could have just stopped it. It don't matter what it's for.
You need a black person around. Yeah. Nonetheless, but shouts out to all our listeners that are not black, man. We appreciate y'all.
Nah, y'all hold on, time out. You need a real nigga around you. I know black people.
Nah, right.
Not everybody.
All right. See,
I'm just saying, man. Because I just thought about Meek Mill, and I'm like, man, he got black people around him, but he ain't got no real niggas.
People that are listening, when they hear real nigga, they hear real slave. Like, that's
all right. You know what? All right, man.
You see
for
the
fairness of this. Yeah, that you know what? All right, for the purpose of this, I'll do it.
Anyway, let me just finish my piece on that. We only on scene one, bro. That's crazy.
My fault.
Nah, you good. But like the Rat Pack painting, this whole episode being called Rat Pack. Jack makes a comment about his mother being in hell. He alludes to like his mother being in hell. Is this a ploy to get Tony more comfortable? Like when he says like, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sure wherever your mother is, you know, I'm sure she's proud. He's like, oh, I think I know where she is. And she's somewhere that's really hot. And then Tony's like, oh, you have one of those too. Do y'all think that Jack Masserone was like kind of trying to lean towards Tony's relatable because I don't know if Jack knows about Livia or like her ringlings, or is they just coincidental? What do y'all think about that part?
I think it was coincidence.
Okay.
It goes back to that whole
I don't
picture
think.
thing. My fault. Go ahead, Spike.
No, I think it's coincidence. I don't think that Jack is that tapped into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he out here free balling and he don't even really know what's going on, which is why he got caught.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Same theory I made with him bringing that picture. Like we don't have that type of relationship. You wouldn't even you wouldn't even know that I didn't like my mom. So I think it was coincidence.
Do y'all think the picture was bugged?
No, I don't think the picture was bugged. I think the picture was. It was definitely his hat.
Okay.
Because
Oh, yeah, of
there's a
course. Yeah,
scene
we
where he
find
has,
out,
yeah. So I don't think the picture was, but it was just an odd thing. Like if somebody who you don't really know like that, or it's strictly a business relationship, like I've seen you twice in the past 6 months, and all of a sudden you saw a picture of the Rat Pack, and you thought of me. You think enough about me to buy me. You ain't even bought me a drink nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you buy me a Rat Pack picture. That's just odd.
They never had that type of relationship, but I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Tony does appreciate his civilian relationships. I think that's a through line. He does appreciate his. It helps him to feel more human. But I'll talk a little bit more about that further down. But I did want to acknowledge too, like the two gentlemen that were outside, and the police was like, "Hey, y'all good? Y'all everything all right?" And they was like, "Oh yeah, we're good. We just having a conversation." If this was black people, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go any further. But if that was black people just posted up, just looking in the restaurant, not the same conversation. Not the same. All right, you have a good night. I'm just tell you that right now. But yeah. We go to our next scene. Speaking of a night scene, we get Adriana and her Fed agent that she reports to, and Aid is given stronger information at this point. Is there anything y'all want to add to this scene?
nah, not for me.
Yeah, just that she's still naive in what she's getting into, just by her reaction when dude left the car. Is that something I said? Like you are an FBI informant. Like that's what you are. Like stop being so surprised when things like this happen. Like she's so naive and still green to the point she doesn't even pick up, that she's giving vital information. She for the longest she said, I'm barely even giving them anything. I'm not even some bullshit here and there. Like, nah, you giving them real information, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
It's just I love the parallel between her and Tony almost in the scene. Even though Tony's not necessarily all the way with it, like Spike said, it's still just the natural. You bringing up Zeller, I'm talking about the pie. Like it's just sort of like how he did with was it Davies?
What,
Talking about going to Vegas. No. Who was the store owner?
Davey Scatino.
That is all right. I didn't know his last name, but yeah, just the same way when he talked about going to Vegas, like he just changed the topic. I just love the parallel between the two because Adriana doesn't even know what she's into.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. Because we will see that later when she's like, "Is that all you care about?" But like,
yes.
Yeah, this is
what do you
you
think
do,
this
man.
is?
I can't wait till we get there because I know we about to do. I'm finna, in the words of White Man King John, I'm finna dog you. I'm finna dog you like that. We'll get there. We'll go to the next scene. Ray Curto and the feds listening to the Wire recording. Hey, shouts out to the scene bringing back the intro of Good Earners, baby. You're supposed to be earners. That's why you got that top tier position. I thought that was fire. Come on, man. This all makes sense, bro. Come on. But
absolutely.
At this point, I count 3 rats. Do y'all count that?
Did we know this before then?
Yeah, we knew this.
Yeah, we knew this. Remember
that's what, and I was just about to say that's one of the reasons I love Sopranos. It's been 3 years in real time. It was 3 years since you had seen Ray working with the feds. Like you can almost forget if you weren't paying attention.
So we got this season 2. Is that what?
It was season
3.
Yeah, season 2 or 3.
Because remember, he said we found out when he was like, oh, it was Livia's
season 3 because season 3 aired
Livia's
in 2001. Yeah,
okay.
Pro
Lavushka. Yeah,
that's the last. Yes, that's the last episode.
You
was
want me to wear a
referenced.
wire for the
Yeah, in real time, season 3 came on in 2001. This is 2004 now, so 3 actual calendar years. So,
fire.
I know we looked at things from the perspective of the show and episodes, but if you're watching this in real time, it's very easy to forget. Like, hold on, Ray, did we know that? Because they don't spend a ton of time on them. Yeah,
they don't.
Yo. Wait, hold on. They got Ray back when Macasian was alive, didn't they? At the brothel. Remember
He was
Ray?
there, but we didn't know. We didn't know that at the time. that he was
Okay,
sick.
we didn't know, but he got right back out though. Like, but they
Yeah.
didn't emphasize it, but
Yeah.
like low key.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
That's why he
Yeah.
got
all right.
And they brought back Danielle in this scene, which I thought was dope.
Yeah, I
Another
thought that was
tie-in.
dope too. Like, yeah, for sure. But y'all count 3 rats at this point?
Yeah.
Ray, Adriana.
And
Jack?
Jack Masseron.
Yeah.
Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Bars. Come on, son. Anything I want to add to this scene? Or we see Deborah, which is the old agent. We see the hat. Danielle, I'm sorry. Deborah's the new one. Danielle's the we see the hat, which is got the most acronym on there. So that was a smooth way. And I got a hot take. When we go back to season 2, I believe it was season 2, Mr. Ruggiero's Neighborhood. This episode does it better than what they did in season 2's opener. As far as we're gonna weave the feds into the story strong on this episode, and they did it better. I did not. I spoke about it. I go back to our review of season 2, the episode 1. I did not like how they kept doing the music thing. It felt very buddy cop like. It was not good to me. Like, and y'all can get that from that review. But this episode, I love the way they like cooked, how they use all of the different agents we've seen over the years. They did it better on this episode. That's a hot take for me. I wish they would have did this season 2, but of course, you need time to develop and really understand your identity. But anything else y'all want to add to this scene right here?
Yeah, it really made it feel like the walls were closing in. Mm-hmm. It made it feel like there was a lot more Fed presence than we realized in watching this show as viewers and fans of Tony. Like this season, it seems like that they were hunkered down on, this shit is going on, but there's also with these snitches that you know and don't know, like there's a lot of shit going on where we want to jam him up. And this is the first time I think in the series that we've been able to see like, oh, they really after his ass.
Yeah. That's a great point. 2 quick things. I just said it, but I'll say it again. Adriana doesn't even know what she's doing. She's lying to them, not knowing that they got an eye. You got to understand the feds are watching you. They know where you are. They calling you when you across town and you ask them how you got this number. So you should know that they already know the answers to some of the questions they're asking, especially if it has anything to do with the club. The second thing is, to your point, Mo, that's just very interesting. Your thoughts on this episode. I agree with you. And it kind of feels more like The Wire. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is it gives you, I think prior to this, we don't really have too much inside of the working of the feds. Like we get into the political side of the feds and you know what this is about, right? He blew that Junior Soprano case. Like it just feels like more of the, we see the corruption on all angles that, what the Sopranos aims to do is who's really the good guy, who's really the bad guy? Are there any? And this episode did feel different in that sense. So I just wanted to echo what you just said.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Danielle. I mean, she got a short hairstyle this time. Excuse me. I didn't really dig that, but it was good to see her nonetheless.
You like Tony talking to Carmela, huh? You should have checked in with you.
You should have checked in with me before you cut your hair, Danielle. Come on, man. I like the big fluffy hair when you was meeting Adriana in the mall. Well, yeah, like I said, I agree with you. I think Wire-ish is not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, Wire-ish. Definitely not The Wire.
No, definitely. That's why I say ish. Was it? Yeah. The Wire was that 2001? What's the release?
2002 to 2008.
Okay, so they definitely had probably, you feel like they were kind of eyeing it? Do you think they were possibly eyeing that at the time?
Yes.
Nah. Absolutely.
No?
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I think there was okay, what they doing over here? Oh, this is dope. Yeah, let me take a little bit from it. This is how we do it
with our feds. Yeah. Like, this is how we should treat it.
I do.
I can definitely see it, especially.
I don't think it was a heavy influence, but it was like, okay, this is a cool thing that they're doing. Let me add it to this.
That's what I was about to say. I said no because they didn't take it anywhere further on that regard. Right.
Yeah,
but it does make sense because they all under the same umbrella. Obviously, the HBO studios.
Come on, son.
So you get a closer insight of what other people are doing. So yeah,
I like it. These are the Wire guys over here, man. Yeah, they got a Wire podcast coming soon.
Yeah, man. Once we take the appropriate. Man. Once
Game
we
of
take the
Thrones or The Wire?
appropriate,
Which one?
Game of
yeah, man, we
Yo,
gonna figure
y'all
it
hit
out.
us up. Game of Thrones or The Wire? Which one would y'all prefer for us to review after this?
I just,
Well,
Yeah.
there's a
I just
caveat.
want everybody to know, yeah, because you ain't gonna do the wire. You said.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing The Wire.
I just wanted everybody to know whatever the answer is, it's gonna be after a healthy break from doing this.
Absolutely.
Definitely gonna take some time off from the
Yeah.
series reviews until
Yeah, for
we
sure.
recover from this.
And we'll still put some stuff out on this feed, so don't doubt. We'll keep things going. And but yeah, y'all hit us up. goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Which one would y'all prefer to us to do after we finish Sopranos, The Wire or Game of Thrones? I would be very interested to see what people say.
That's a vast difference too,
bro. That would add life to me.
That's two totally different bags, right
bro.
there.
That would add life to
is,
me.
Yeah.
I swear it would. Y'all hit us up, please, for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go to Tony goes to Junior's house. We see Bobby Bacala. Of course, he's on the job. We see Feeks again there.
Feeks Lamano.
Telling
the story.
This guy always got a story. He's asking about what do you got? We get this introduction conversation about Tony Blendetto, and it's like, what do you got for him? And Tony says that they have an airbag racket, which is a really good racket. I want to ask, what do y'all want to add to this scene? What did y'all think about this? It was a subtle scene, but it really worked, and it's good to see Feeks again.
Good to see Feech. Obviously, we start seeing, we've been knowing, but now it's real serious about Uncle Junior. Mm-hmm. I think even last season we were just having the discussions of, man, is he for real? Is he playing this? Yeah. Now it's like, all right, man, something's going on. So they're kind of laying the groundwork for that. That's the main takeaway for me in this scene.
Mm-hmm. So you, Spike?
Same thing for me, man. Feech, he was getting this feeling back as far as what we expecting him to be or not expecting him to be, but nothing big from this scene other than like Feech is making his presence felt.
Feech is pretty good, bro.
Like Feech
is like when we get to the
I wish he ever remembered his lines, like you said.
Bro, me too. Because Feech was really good, bro. Excuse me. He was really good. We'll elaborate a little bit more when we get to the Tony Blendetto bada bing scene. The only thing that I wanted to add to it is that like Rick said, like Junior, where he's having a moment with repeating himself about the eggs, and then he said Tony eggs. He's like Tony B. So but then again, being as great as they are as the Sopranos show, they turn around and says, then we see Junior sharp again about the CCNY versus Kentucky, 1951. So you can remember that very specifically. So they keep doing this thing of like, is he, ain't he, maybe not. It's just a thing. But Junior has a honorable mention that could have been in the best lines when he talked about crack the whip. And he basically was talking about this game they used to play. They would act ignorant, act dumb or whatever by crack the whip. But eventually when somebody, kind of breaks the connection and that they would be the next one up, which was symbolizing that Carmine, what happened to Carmine, Junior would be next. And of course, Junior has echoed this same sentiment. And was that season 2, 3? What was it? Bacala Senior? Was that 2 or 3?
Yeah, that was 2.
2. Okay. Yeah. Because Janice came in 2, right? Yeah, Janice came in 2 because she murked.
Janice came in 2.
Okay, so yeah, that was 2. Another 2 pick. So yeah, he's echoing that same sentiment that he did before. So that's all that I really wanted to add to it. Just that crack the whip line was really good. And it even resonated with Tony because we talk about that at the end concept. It really resonated for Tony. He had this look on his face, but I think it definitely resonated. We go to Carmine's funeral after we get the reveal that Carmine has passed away. Everybody's greeting Johnny and not little Carmine. Little Carmine is grasping for life, trying to make himself look important. Like, hey, yo, have you met this person? Have you met this person? Like, this has been a relatable in some sentiments, but I'm not going to echo my own personals when it comes to that. What What do y'all think about this scene though? This whole funeral scene of Carmine.
Changing of the guards. I think this was a very subtle way, without having to say, "Oh, there's a power vacuum." What happens when uh, Carmine dies? Carmine Senior, not not having to address the question, but showing that there is going to be discontent amongst New York on what happens next. I think this is brilliant as far as the way that they presented it, even with bringing your girl out and
Lorraine.
Yeah, even with bringing her out and letting us know that there's more characters that have to do with who's going to be in charge in New York next after this. Great scene, great. Like the whole thing was great for me.
I personally love the way John carried it. I love the way Johnny Sack carried it, man. I'm about to walk you down. And the reason that yes, and the reason why is because of the way they entered. He came in with his whole crew. This felt like them days when you're in your prime and you outside. Like I got the whole crew with me. We pulling up, we telling jokes, we laughing, we jovial. That should have been the green light already there. That means things are in my favor. I can work. I can sell it. I got moxie. This is Johnny Sack.
Come on, man.
Little Carmine, you've been to Florida, bro. You don't even know what's going on up here. You don't even know the ins and outs.
5 years.
Like if your pops didn't
fuck with you.
You don't even know people
fuck with you like this. Yeah.
That's why you standing over here with your wife and you over here looking at me. Instead of making your moves, you focus on me and what I'm doing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if I'm a little Carmine, that's a perfect time to buck up because you're not about to just walk in my pop's funeral cracking jokes and jovial. Like, nah, bro, we ain't doing that. But he got everybody. You see Jenny Sack with him, smiling, Johnny, Joey Peeps. Like, he got the whole crew. And people are coming up. That's the most important thing. People are coming up to Johnny. He's not seeking them out. They coming up to him, paying their respects. Because for as long as you've been in Miami, who's been by Carmine's side?
Come on,
me.
Son.
They know me.
Yeah.
So I love this energy that he brought to the funeral. Just like on some.
Yeah.
And I didn't even like your pops. Like I was ready to get them up out of here anyways. This is a great day for me and mine.
Anyway, right.
Yeah.
It's a great day for me and mine.
I got room for smiles and laughs, bro.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. It's a good time in my life. I don't give a fuck about your dad.
It's up,
bro. Yeah, it's up. Like this is what I've been waiting on.
Yeah. Like, hey, man, all due respect.
And he carried it well. And that's the great thing about the Johnny Sack character. He carried it well, not in a sense of disrespect, but just in the sense of like, okay, this is my opportunity. This is my moment. I ain't even finna let you, little Carmine, shit on this. I'm here. I'm flourishing in everything that I put in place. But it's so yeah.
Just to add to it, Lorraine Caluso, I literally typed in Lady Shylock, and that's what popped up.
Yeah.
Because I've always been curious, like, what is a Lady Shylock? And it made me curious. I'm like, okay, well, all it says is that she was an associate of the Lupertazzi family. And I look at, when we go back to Commendatore, and we look at the woman that was running her husband's business because he was locked up out there in Italy. I remember Tony was saying that like never a woman running things in the States. I never seen it before. But then we get this Lorraine Caluso, and like she comes in and she kind of steals the show for real. And she say, "Oh, this is my love of my life," and he's definitely in the background. Like he's definitely not like that nigga for real. Like he's with me. And I've always been so interested about this Lorraine Caluso character. I think that the actress that plays her, I don't know if it was just like, I don't know what her method was to get to this place, but I wish she was one of the mob wives because how she stole the scene to me.
She too thorough to be one of the mob wives.
She couldn't be. She was bigger than Carmelo
she was, but I guess I just feel like if she was like a role, I just feel like the way she killed it. That's all. I feel like I
got you.
She has such a charming, like you like her immediately. Of course, we know how things are gonna go when we get there, and no spoilers on here, but like I just liked her so much. Her again, like I've talked about Jackie Jr.'s sister. There's certain characters I like that I wish they would have did more with. But what was you gonna say, Spike?
I think that's the thing about her character, though. There's no place for her. and that's the reason that we got what we got from her. Like she don't fit with Tony, she don't fit with John, and like the whole thing that they got going on. Also, she don't fit with Carmela and the housewives shit either. Like she in this no man's land as far as, I mean, what do you really got going on?
Because she a loan shark.
And yeah, like not even being a loan shark, but in the sense of she got way more power than anybody in the wives circle would have.
Mm-hmm.
However, the dudes is looking at her like Tony and John, like they ain't really giving her too much credence. It's like, okay, you this. Like we ain't letting you into this world with us. We do respect what you done, but like we ain't fucking with you like that. So I think it's a brilliant play in the sense of how her character plays out over the next couple of episodes, and they like, there's no place for it.
Didn't you fuck her back in the day?
Yeah. Pauly Seal, how's it hanging?
Bro, that's crazy. She got that off.
I think that's a few episodes up too, that line. I think when Johnny asked Tony, didn't you fuck her some years back?
Yeah.
But it speaks to that end at the end concept too. Like from the pilot to this very moment, like seeing her, like it speaks to like the work that she's probably laid down foundationally from a financial standpoint. It speaks to like, yo, it looks like she might be, you know what I mean, like a made woman, even though I know that's not how the mob works, but it's coming off like that because she's a Lady Shylock and she has a reputation, which Chris speaks on. So it definitely speaks to the end at the end concept. What's up, bro?
I'm sorry, man, because I everything you say is spot on, but I keep thinking about the scene that I butchered that happens next episode instead of this one, and the way she reacted.
I can't wait. Yeah,
all that tough shit was gone.
Oh man, bro. Yeah. What we talking about?
What am I? Why am I asking you? You probably taught her.
Man, bro, I can't wait. Yeah, that was good. That was really. I can't believe she did what she did.
Nah, that was an introduction. That's a hell of a. That's one of my favorite TV introductions for real. I know we see Phil here, but like his real scene, like when we first meet him, like that's my dog. But also my fault, real quick, just to finish up this scene. John and Carmine in the side room. Let me talk to you for a minute. Just letting him know that you know this it's up. Like Carmine pretty much told him it's up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Well, you just said earlier, you know, your father in the hospital said I was like a son and I was being polite.
Oh, you've been polite now, huh?
Yeah.
The Philly Tardo joke was pretty good.
I can see a house from here.
Yeah, that was funny. I do think that I do like seeing New York have internal beef. We always get Jersey having it. So it was really good. No, I was just saying it was really good seeing New York have internal beef. That's all.
This is a turning point for the show. Like, this is one of the most vital points in the show. Like, you're speaking to New York having beef. One of the things about Tony and his crew is their relationship with New York. So now there is a power vacuum with New York. How does that affect everything with the show? We always talk about how this show has a couple of different, like it goes from this show to this show to this show.
Separations, yeah.
This episode for me is, this is the end. This is the runway. This is what we're doing to end it right here. Like, there's beef with New York. How does this play for Tony? How does this play for the New York relationship that he has? I think this is one of my favorite episodes in the sense, not to spoil how we rate it at the end, but this is one of my favorite episodes in the sense of like everything changes here. Like everything changes here.
Okay.
I will say this run, the New York beef, made me want a spinoff.
Okay. What kind of spinoff?
It made me want a New York spinoff. I want to know what's going on with the five families.
Like a Johnny Sack led,
like a Powerverse type of situation.
Yeah,
you got Tommy got his own show, Tariq got his own show, but you see Tommy pop up every now and then. Like it's kind of this. It's a parallel timeline. I just want to know what's going on in New York. Like, we know what's going on in Jersey, but what's going on in New York right now? What are those conversations like when it's wartime, when it's time to hit the mattresses? I know it's too much. I know it's too much, and it's not realistic for what The Sopranos is. But it made me interested enough to say I will watch that. Well, like, this is fascinating.
Well, the time it came out is why. It's not that
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
unrealistic. It's the time period that it came out. If it came out more closer to this time period, it would have worked. Like we would have got a Johnny Sack spinoff and the Sacramonies. It would have been the show would have been called the Sacramonies. Like it's like, oh, okay, so now we got the Sopranos and we got the Sacramonies. It's just the era they came out was different, but we would have absolutely watched Johnny Sack living in Jersey, and we would got a little more Big Carmine, Little Carmine, you know, and all of the New York families over there. That would have been dope. So you're not off at all as far as like if it could have worked. I know that was your interest. I'm totally with you. I'm back. I'm behind that with it, especially at this point what we know about Johnny Sack. So.
Even but I think
I was just saying, even getting the family life of like seeing how Johnny Sack navigates certain things with Jenny Sack would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, but I think I just want to emphasize again, most important part of this scene was when they were talking about, you know, you said you just told me in the hospital. He said I was like a son to him. I was being polite. He was on his deathbed. John said I should have written those words down, and Carmine said, "Yes, you should have, because they don't mean anything anymore." You understand me? That you understand me? That's it. That's Carmine letting John know it's up.
Yeah.
Like once we leave this funeral, it's up, bro.
That's crazy.
And I think that's a very subtle way. So I don't know how many people catch it. Like that's the moment when he tells him, like, all right, that don't mean shit no more.
That's crazy.
Good point.
Everybody update their will, man. Right now. If you got a will or a living trust, man, make sure it's updated so some crazy shit don't happen. If anything, anybody reaches an untimely demise, because this all Tony said it. This all could have been avoided if Carmine just named an heir.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't want to get too deep in that conversation. I don't even know. John might not have gave a fuck.
That's true. We get Tony watching TV, and he's watching this video about this guy talking about being in the war, and I feel like this was foreshadowing to reveal something with Tony later in the season. I didn't have much to add to it. Did y'all want to add anything to this scene?
Just adding context to how we feel about Tony B. That's it.
Okay. Sidebar, how did y'all feel about them naming the first episode Two Tonys, but then Tony B actually comes the second episode?
I think the two Tonys had to do with Tony.
Soprano.
You talked about that.
Remember, he told Melfi in the office.
I know he did.
It's a different type of Tony, yeah.
I really didn't like it.
I think
the second
especially
rewatch,
how
really
you
didn't
pointed
like
it. Especially how you pointed it out in the first episode, how he made a reference to it being two Tonys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was dope.
I feel like this episode should have been called Two Tonys.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree. I think Two Tonys works better for the first one because there's more entendres to do with it. Based off that episode, the Rat Pack. Think about what we've already said. You already got the photo of the Rat Pack. You got the 3 rats.
Okay.
Junior says something about rats on the ship, something like that, or whatever he was talking. Like it just. I just think it fit in a little bit better. But I feel what you're saying. It does confuse me. When I was getting ready to rewatch, I was thinking like the Two Tonys episode was the one that Tony B was coming home.
B came home.
So I feel what you're saying, but when you watch them, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just because there's not two Tonys. That's probably why I don't like it as much. Like there's not two Tonys. There's one Tony. You know, but when you get the second Tony, to me it's two Tonys. So, but nonetheless, it's canon. Like it ain't nothing I can change about it. But like I personally just like every time I go to, I'm like, oh, this is where Tony B comes and he doesn't come. Pause. But we go to the next scene. Adriana and her friend. We find out her name is what, Tina, later in the episode. But we seen her earlier in season 3 with Mustang Sally. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is that her?
That's her. Remember I talked about that? I said it way earlier. I said, hey, that's her later in the series. We're gonna see her again. And I think Spike was like, man, I think that is her. It was like a low key, but we didn't track it because it was like one time. Oh,
so this is the chick he was arguing with when he hit dude with the golf club?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when he's Vito's was his brother, his cousin. Vito nigga hit a hole in one over that nigga head.
But you wild. Hold on, I gotta look that up.
Got a green jacket over that mud, boy.
Hey,
got
Mo, wow.
he got his Happy Gilmore on.
Come
You feel
on,
me?
man. Come on, man. He did my dude dirty,
He
man.
got
Come
his
on.
Happy Gilmore on, bro. Shouts out to Adam Sandler. But nah,
I'll be damned. Yeah, that is her.
yes, sir. Come on, man. We deep out in these streets, bro. Yeah.
Hey, man, you pulling a rich.
Hey, come on, man. Oh, look at him. This guy over here. Look at him pulling the ricks. I like
That's a great pool. I
that's
love
why
that.
that's why I established it early, because I said, look, we're gonna see her later. And I didn't realize it. But anyway. But what did y'all gather from the scene? She got the
that makes a you know what? Now that you say that, Mo, that makes a lot more sense for her character.
Absolutely. Like, that context makes all the difference for me. So what did y'all think about that? This scene, she got her fur on, they looking in the mirror, they getting their look on. Adriana got a freakum dress on. They are having this conversation. She's telling her about how her finesse is going at the gig or whatever. What did y'all gather from the scene?
I fucked her in the bathroom.
What'd you say?
I fucked her in the bathroom the way she was giving it up.
Hey, bro.
Facts.
She, like, you can't. All right, I'm not gonna do the Mo thing. What do y'all react? Y'all react. I'm not doing the Mo thing.
They just let you. I just looked at this scene. Well, shout out to Chris for fighting a good fight.
Oh, he was fighting a good fight here?
I'm talking about as far as his sobriety. The nothing to nothing. Like, actually being in the club, actually, it looks like Chris is taking some positive steps and he's being cool. So that's a big thing. And then obviously temptation, man. Temptation lurks.
Yeah, it does.
Adriana said something about the fake invoices too. I think that's an important part of the scene when they're in the bathroom.
The only thing I took from this is how Lil Paulie was way out of his league. like them, whoever set this up and said that, hey, Lil Paulie, like, you might can bag her, like, was crazy.
He
way out of his league.
Way out of his league. And and any man has been in that position where you realize, like,
Lil Paulie can't do nothing with this.
Yeah, like, you realize, like, oh, she way too advanced. I'm not even. I would have never even thought the way she
wouldn't even looked at you.
Bro.
If there was no referral,
come on,
based, like,
that
did nobody refer you to me? Like,
that
it wouldn't be
serious.
No chance.
Nigga.
Yeah, facts.
If I get the referral, I gotta capitalize. I'm gonna be all the way. I'm keeping it being.
You got to do the best you can do.
You got to do the best you can.
Nah,
he wasn't nowhere near that, bro. This nigga was going up into Tony's bathroom because he was scared of the bear with the shotgun. Come on, man. Is this Jody? Come on, son.
Oh, shit.
Come on, bro. Like, but yeah. But A gave it up smooth about Chris not having the crutch, because he was like, I don't have a crutch no more. And she said it makes up in other ways. I said, yo, talk to me, baby. Huh? He's performing as a man now. When she said that, it makes up in other ways. Oh, she's satisfied. She good. She living her best life. I like that. Shouts out to
Ada Ryder, man. She the opposite of Carmela's mom.
Yeah.
Look, get a straight.
We ain't even saying there's there's something this season that might be from her that might even be more egregious than
it is.
Yeah.
I gotta see this. I don't recall, but when I get
there,
there,
it definitely
you're talking about Marco Polo, right?
Yes, definitely Marco Polo.
When we get there, I'm gonna watch really close.
Just watch the episode.
Oh, just watch.
Her entire behavior. That episode.
Yeah. You ain't gotta watch close. Just regularly watch. Like,
just watch her. Just watch her that episode, man. That's
egregious.
Nah.
But her friend Tina is filthy. Like, she taking the fur off, getting like, oh, it's hot in here, and she's like, I'm sure you can last longer than that. When he was, like, man, like.
Yeah, that's later on. That's when she really.
Like,
I got something to say about that scene,
bro. He was like, show us your
that
box.
One was
trying
later
to create
on.
A rhyme.
This one was with the fur and her saying that that's the only hair that she has on her body.
Right, and it's a fox, and he was like, oh, show us your fox, show us your box. Trying to get it. Chris trying to really get his rap career off.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, bro.
He did say that. Show us your box. But he wasn't referring to, like, what we would call a box. He was just rhyming, and then he shook up with Lil Paulie.
Yeah, because Paulie said something about she's my fox, my little fox in the box.
Yeah, fox in the box. Yeah, he was like, he said, let's see her box or maybe her socks. That's what he said.
That was before she alluded to her being bare all over, though.
Yeah.
Like she leaned into that. They didn't. I just want to be clear as we're reviewing this. She leaned into being what she is, not them.
Yeah,
It's not even it's not even that she said it. It's the look she gave Chris after, and we'll talk
always.
about that in a later scene as well.
Adriana pussy for this too.
Oh, once again, we'll
Oh,
talk about it when we get to the later scene because that's
okay.
exactly
All right.
even
Hey.
even if you
pussy.
want to let her slide this scene, the next scene is
Yeah,
crazy.
she pussy. She pussy for this.
Oh yeah. All right, that's good. We'll elaborate a little more on that. We get to Chris and Adriana's house, and Chris is straight projecting on her pretty much because he's cranky and he's sober. A obviously looks good. I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy. It's not the two Tonys. It's not the two Tonys like Melfi. But
I wonder was we gonna get a comment at all.
You gonna always get a comment like I mean,
You've been good the last couple of weeks.
Hey man, look,
trying to avoid it. I wonder
podcast.
Was the aid. I wonder was the aid and booty shorts gonna get Elisa like she looks good from.
Well, be honest, Aid with the dress was killing. Like that dress in the club was nice.
Booty shorts look good though. She look good.
Booty, yeah, she killing. She killing. She's in great shape. Shouts out to Drea DiMatteo. But like, I've heard so many Soprano podcasts. Nobody ever talk about how attractive when these women get in a bag, and it's like, yo, that's the knowledge that hey, they look good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, so that's all. But
definitely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. In the words of Jerry Seinfeld. Anything I want to add to this scene?
This scene might have my line of the episode. I won't say it now. It might have my line of the episode because it's so fried, bro.
Okay. That's good. That's why I said I probably got like two that I had to go back and forth about. But Tony goes to Tony Blundetto's house. Tony, do we need to say Tony? This is going to be like a
Tony
headache.
Tony B.
Tony to Tony B.
Yeah, Tony B.
All right.
You can say Tony Uncle Johnny. And Tony Uncle Al.
Tony Uncle Johnny goes to Tony Uncle Al's mother's place. That's good, Rich. and we see Tony B for the first time and this is, I just got to say this, in the way they built him up, because they didn't reveal him episode 1. We got Angelo, we got Feach, we got some reveals, but the way they built him up, his arrival is another gripe for me. And as far as the choice for Steve, again, it's just not a fit, bro. Y'all gonna hear this just like I did for the agent that was originally Adriana's, caretaker or whatever you want to call her, as far as investigating her before they switch over to the next agent. I'm gonna feel this way for a while, but there is some praise I will give for Steve Buscemi as well. I'm not biased at all. This reveal, like I didn't reveal him in the episode 1. So I built this Tony Blundetto character. And then finally Tony comes over to his mom's crib, his auntie. And when we see, it's like, bro. But anyway, before I elaborate a little bit more, what did y'all take from this scene? Tony pulls up to grab Tony B for the later events.
I was never in the wheelhouse that you are talking about, Mo, as far as this role didn't fit for
the actor that last
Steve
episode.
Buscemi. What's that?
You said that last episode. You was like, no, you said you had more things to say about when we looked at he was on the TV with the long hair and we looking at the class of 04. You were saying that like I got some things I want to say about that too, as far as him being a fit. But I think you kind of preserved.
And my thing was I didn't think that he was a bad fit.
Okay.
That was my whole thing. As far as I know, you have a different approach that you're taking from it. I don't think that this was a bad fit in the sense of I think he was a great actor and how he bodied this role, not just from a look standpoint, because I get what you're saying there, but as far as the person that he is now and what he told Tony later about what he wanted to do. And then, as Rich said in the last episode, we get to see him with the long hair and a cigarette in his mouth. Yeah, I get, okay, he was at one point that dude, but now he's not. I think they did a great job in bringing him in and making him look like, oh, this ain't who I would expect to do this role. This ain't the person that I would expect to be gangster, this, that, and the third. It goes a long way into what we see his character develop to. So I appreciate the fact that he is the person that plays this role.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I think it's probably the most polarizing casting choice in Sopranos history. I don't think there's a clear
Polarizing.
line.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think it's polarizing. I think people are either they're clearly on one side. It's not a middle ground thing. I think
you're
people
saying
either
like the
love Steve
biggest
Buscemi.
conversation. Okay.
I think people either love Steve Buscemi as Tony B or they hate Steve Buscemi as Tony B. And when I say hate, I don't mean they hate his performance. We got to remember this is 2004. 20 years later, where we are now, TV is what dominates. TVs are way bigger and more artistic than films. But back then, films, it was very rare for, once you left TV, you didn't come back.
Yeah, TV was a
unless you had an opportunity to be on a show like Sopranos. So I think anytime you get a well-known actor, especially one who fits the mold, who's Italian, it seemed different for the things he was doing. I like Tony B. I will say, as you watch season 5, a lot of what you're saying, Mo, comes out where it's just like, man, this is. It goes in and out, and eventually you land on, man, I don't know if we don't believe you. You need more people,
bro. That's all. Like
it's kind of odd. Like it's kind of odd. He plays the role of somebody who wants to go straight, but once things start getting back funky,
that's the part. And
go ahead. I don't even want to.
You trying not to spoil?
It's not even about spoiling. The only thing I'll say is, I guess, even though he didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, before he went away to jail, he was a rising star. Like he had never really solidified himself. He wasn't a Feach Lamana, where he can just come home and everything. You know, he got the respect. You put in some work before you went in, but you really ain't. You know, the books ain't even open on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if some of that is intentional from the show to show like I'm not as.
He did 15 versus the other one's doing 20.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't even get enough. He would have been. It's similar to what would have happened if Chris went away before he got his butt. Like if season 1 Chris went away, it's kind of the same thing. That's what Tony B was. Like yeah, you can be useful, but you wasn't that guy. And with you getting older, I don't even know how much value you still add. And that's something that Tony struggles with throughout this season and his relationship with Tony B.
That's a great pull, bro. Like when you put it that way, using Christopher season 1,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Because Chris was doing rackets. He was doing some finesses, like trying to build towards getting his button. That's really good. I'll speak more praises to Tony B as we get further down, because I'll speak more to the human side of it. It's the mob side of him that I have issue with. But I'll speak a little bit more to that in this episode and even more later down the road of season 5 as far as the cast of Stephen Buscemi. And we know that, was he the director?
Director of Pine Barrens.
Pine Barrens. So he was already he's had some spots. He has a connection with David Chase and those that are involved with Sopranos. So, but I'll speak to it a little bit more. We'll get there a little bit more. But
if you Italian American, you acting. Yeah, your agent made a phone call to HBO.
Yeah,
they made a phone call to David Chase. Get me on this show.
Everybody was trying to get in. All right, I'll wait till we get to the celebration. When we get to celebration, I'll cook a little bit more. So I'm gonna let that.
That Italian American actors treated this like Entourage. Let me get on there.
Do we got a black version of this? Like, what it's like? Oh, I want to be a part of this. Is it BMF? Do we got a black version? It's like, oh, they casted every black person. Let me try to call in and try to get
It should have been Atlanta.
I was gonna say Atlanta probably. That's one of the things that came to mind, but it wasn't like this.
It wasn't like this, but that's what.
There's probably one out there. I'm gonna think of it.
Yeah, definitely hit us in the group chat. What do y'all think about Tony B's suit? Obviously, it's from the '80s. Do you? I think
The one he met Tony in, or the one at the surprise?
Yeah, the one Tony.
That's the
pulled
same
up.
one.
He got the sleeve. Yeah, same one. He got the sleeves rolled up. He definitely got the Tommy Vercetti from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. You know, what I mean, he definitely getting that off.
I think that's part of the reason why you don't like the fit, Mo.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to show us that. Not the outfit, not the outfit. I mean the fits of Steve Buscemi as Tony.
Buscemi. Okay.
That's probably why, because they're doing a good job of showing us like he doesn't fit, he doesn't belong. He's a fish out of water. Yeah, you ain't
shoulders
here no
too big. It don't really look right. Though they provided him with all the resources to make it look right, it still don't look right. And I think that goes to a lot to what you were saying, Rich, and to what you mean, Mo, is like it don't make sense. But I think that's the brilliant part of it. It doesn't make sense, but that's what made this character so dope. That's what made the arc of this character so dope. It never really made sense. It never really was like, okay, he's a perfect fit for this world. You see this and you see what he's trying to do in like objective to this world, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So it took me a couple times to watch it through to be like, okay, I see why they picked him for this.
Well, we're going right into the Tony Blundetto surprise at Vesuvio's, and going back to what Spike said, it's just such a challenge for me because it's like I don't believe, even when we get later scenes, I don't believe you were ever on that. Even as an uprising star, I don't believe you. I almost feel like, and this is a hot take here, I feel like y'all could have casted the actor that played Gigi. He could have been Tony Blundetto and reverse it, because it's just like he just feels, I hate to say this, but he just feels so American and not Italian American. You know what I mean? Like that's how it feels. And I know it's crazy for me as a black man saying that, but we reviewing Sopranos, so y'all understand the perspective. It's a black perspective. But it just feels just American. Like he feels like a Wonder Bread Wop, even though obviously he did 15 years in the can. But it just, the way I don't know if it's the acting choices, and Steve Buscemi is a good actor, so it's no slight on his acting ability, and what he did, he definitely locked in and he definitely got it off. But it never sits well for me, like with his civilian side, and that's what I want to give him praise for. We're going into the dinner party, the surprise. So I'll let y'all react.
Let me just real quick. I just got to piggyback off that. That's an amazing pool that you just had, Mo. And I think that's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with this is Sopranos built a show where the stars of the show became stars because of the Sopranos. We got to know them as Italian Americans because they portrayed themselves as Italian Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even if you knew James Gandolfini from like True Romance or other films, like his role as Tony Sopranos, you kind of meet Tony versus James. Mm-hmm. Or Jim, as they called him affectionately, right? Yeah, Steve Buscemi had so much. Reservoir Dogs, Big Daddy. He was doing Adam Sandler movies. Like you see him be on some goofy shit. So it's almost like I've seen you do too much to where now when you're trying to sell me as you Italian American, like I know you as Mr. Pink, and I know you as all these other things versus Tony B. So I think the issue is you probably wanted a lesser known Italian American to play this and become like it, so it can be like, oh, you're Tony B versus you're Steve Buscemi playing Tony B.
See, but
here's he's more than Tony B.
But see, here's why I go against you. Phil Leotardo, the actor that played him, we know him.
But he was in Goodfellas. He plays in all the mob movies.
But that's what I'm saying. That exactly
Casino.
That's what
Steve Buscemi doesn't do that. Steve Buscemi doesn't do that.
That's what Rich is pointing out. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. No, we know you for this. Like you said, lesser known, but he's just as known as a Steve Buscemi. That's why I'm saying that's not my issue.
All right, I'm not even setting all right, forget the lesser known part. What I mean is what we're used to seeing you as. Let's put it like that. Frank Vincent, I've seen him in Casino. I've seen him in Goodfellas. Like he does those roles. So he fits right in. It's almost like being typecast.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like certain people play certain I can see them in certain things. Loretta Devine gonna be the loud mama in a movie. That's what she does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen her do it so many times that it's believable when I see it in another film.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with Frank Vincent. Like it just makes sense. Like when you got Steve Buscemi putting on lipstick and Billy Madison, and then you try to see him as Tony B, that's different. When you got him talking about leaving tips in Reservoir Dogs as Mr. Pink, and then you try to imagine him as a mob dude, it's different. Like Frank Vincent has played the same roles in different iterations. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's hard to see somebody with all these different things
never played anything
become one thing.
remotely close.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Even though he's a straight up Italian American.
Yeah, absolutely. like no slack on.
Remember when Wayne Brady
farm conversation.
That's good. Remember when Wayne Brady did the Chappelle show?
Oh man, come on, son.
You remember how nuts everybody was going? It's not because we didn't know Wayne Brady wasn't black. We just never seen him be a nigga before.
Bro, I love that.
Same thing with Steve. That's what we ain't never seen him do this before. So it's hard to look at, and it's the reverse of the Wayne Brady thing because it goes against him.
Okay.
Just from an image perspective. Shout out to Steve Buscemi.
Shout out to Steve Buscemi. I'm gonna have when we get further down in season 5, I'm gonna ask you guys, did he nail this or not? But I'm not gonna ask at this point because we're at the introduction. But I'm gonna ask both of you brothers, did he nail it or not? And if he did, we're gonna give him praise. If he didn't, who will we prefer? And we're gonna probably reach from those that have been involved that may have had an episode or two. But we get to the celebration.
Nigga playing Crazy Eyes and Mr. D's, man. This nigga trying to be a mobster. This shit hilarious.
Bro, come on, son.
Shit.
This nigga did Pioneers.
My bad. I just had one other thing from the previous scene. That's the only picture they could find of Kelly to put on her wall. You don't got no grade school picture of her. You got to come on, man. Y'all wild.
Come on, man. Yeah, that nigga got
y'all wild.
They took the picture off the Razor phone, bro.
Yeah, man. Every time I look, I'm like, come on, that's the only picture this whole family got of this girl.
Bro. Yeah, come on, man. Black families, like, we ain't gonna anyway. I can't go there. But Tony be surprised at Vesuvio's. This is a dope thing. Like I said, he got the suit on, sleeves rolled up, referring back to where he was before he went in. I like the interaction between Tony B and Artie. This feels like they did actually know each other back then. Did y'all get that same sentiment? Like that whole back and forth interaction between them two?
Yeah, it was
great. That him and Artie?
Him and Artie, yeah.
It was great as far as them letting us know that not only is Tony appreciating him being back, but like the people that knew him before. Like this is a normal thing for us. Like he's that dope of a dude in this world. Like we accept him. It's no awkward like, oh, he got to get reacclimated to. Like, nah, already fuck with him. Like it was dope.
I would add to what Steve Buscemi does really well, talking about what I didn't like, talking about what I really do like. What Steve Buscemi does really well is with the character, for me, he embraces the time that has passed. Like this whole thing, where are the twins? Where's Kelly? Like he does that so freaking. That's the part that I really enjoy about the Tony Blundetto character. It's like this moment where you can look at his eyes, and even when he has an interaction with Tony later, when he said, "Let me talk to you for a minute," like it's certain civilian like aspects that Steve Buscemi does so well that I really enjoy. That's what makes it such a bittersweet casting for me. But this moment he does well. So this is not like I'm a hater, I'm hating on him. It's just certain aspects of it that really I challenge just from a viewer standpoint. But I really like that. Sure. What did y'all think about the Tony and Carm moment when they was just lingering and then they walk off?
It's life now, man. Like
total disconnect.
Yeah. I'm salty. Like we got to remember, Tony's salty for real. Like Carmela's obviously upset for all the right reasons, but Tony's, I didn't want this. Like you making this awkward. Ain't nothing worse than having family issues, and then other people start finding out because we're in public now, and now it's known that we're separated. Like now I know, regardless of what kind of face you put on in front of me, I know when you leave here, you go home. One of the topics of conversation is gonna be, did you see Tony and Carm?
Yep, bro.
See how they interact? They barely spoke to each other. That's going to be a part of it. Nobody wants to be in that position.
And that's on you, not me.
Yeah.
That's how petty Tony is.
I feel like Carmella was definitely like she put on a little extra. Like I feel like she was like trying to like anyway, but I like the fact that like how the interaction was. They were standing next to each other. They let it marinate for about 5 to 9 seconds, and then Carmella takes the initiative to walk off. That feels very realistic to me. Like when y'all two don't rock no more, it felt very realistic to me. So I like that. But yeah, what did y'all think about the Tony speech, man?
You could tell he loves Tony, man. You could tell he loves Tony B. Like that's his dog, that's his brother. It wasn't just like cracking jokes like it was somebody with the crew. He shows Tony B the same type of love he shows Chris. Like there's a certain thing about his blood that he carries a little bit closer than that. He would have never gave a similar speech. Maybe P could have got something like this, but I don't. And Jackie Senior, but that's really about it. Like there's not too many people that Tony's gonna go to this length for.
Maybe Junior.
I don't even know if Junior.
Not Junior? Okay.
I don't even know in the same way. Like there's a vulnerability, like a sweetness almost. Like it was very a sweet sentiment of what Tony was saying about him. And like we don't know at this time, but as things go along further in the season, how much of this was that sweet sentiment and how much of it was guilt. But he's happy he's home. There's no question about that.
Perfectly said, yeah.
Perfectly said, yeah, absolutely. The Tonys talk and go to the Bing. Is Tony B alluding to anything? Hold on. I feel like I'm skipping this thing. Oh, I'm not. Okay.
No, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, they're outside and they're having a talk. And Tony Blundetto basically says that like, maybe things would have been different. But in so many words, maybe things would have been different if I didn't get caught. Do y'all think Tony B is alluding to anything, or is he just being genuine in that moment? But Tony,
I think he's being genuine. It's Tony that's feeling that way.
Okay.
I don't think that this ever was a thing for Tony B. Like, I took this charge for you. I had to go serve this time. I don't think that he was looking at it that way, but I do think that Tony's Sopranos self-consciousness was like, oh, he looks at me this way because he had to go do time and I didn't. I don't think it was ever an actual thing. It was just in his mind.
Even if it is a thing, the one thing I will say about Tony B, did a great job of never showing us.
Yeah.
Like I listen, if you do
great point, Rich.
And that's consistent. He was consistent throughout the entire season. Listen, if you do 15 years, because it's not like he did the time for Tony. Tony was just supposed to be there. Tony would have been doing it too. It's not like it was a one or the other type of thing. Like both of us would have been locked up instead of one. So it's a little bit different, but at the same time, when I come home and I see how you living, I can't help but to think about how my life will look. And you're gonna hold on to that. I don't care who you are. If you're a stand-up guy like Tony B, you're never gonna make that grudge known out loud. But you, of course, in the back of your mind, like, damn, I did 15, bro. How up could I be right now? Could I be in Tony's position?
Boss. Right.
Yeah, like, and Tony, obviously, to y'all point, Tony Soprano feels guilty because he knows. And as we get deeper in the season,
we'll get a deeper review.
Yeah. Fucking jigaboo motherfuckers.
Bro. we get into the bada bing and Feech gives Tony B a bag to get him on his feet. Tony sees this. Anything I want to add to this scene?
Nigga putting in work, ain't he? That's what Tony's thinking.
You're already on your feet.
I think Feech looked at it like, I think Tony looked at it like what he got going on.
And I think that's why Tony B had the line of, damn, you've been out a week, you already on your feet. Yeah, I think they emphasize that. And Tony thinking like, hold up, you only got one racket. You came and talked to me about one thing. How you handing out bags?
Bags.
From the old school, Janice.
Also got that, looking down from the throne type of feeling. Tony up top looking down on everybody else. I think that was very symbolic.
I definitely felt like you got served though. I know that obviously this ain't reference.
Please don't ever compare You Got Served to Sopranos ever.
Hey
I'm
man,
finna say,
hey,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
we doing that. We not going. All right,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Keep moving. Keep it moving.
Yeah, but these are the guys that say niggas on the throne. But like now y'all want to. All right.
To Sopranos, you compared it to Sopranos.
I'm not comparing it to
moving.
Sopranos in
Let's
regards
keep
to the greatness. I'm just comparing it to from a cinematography standpoint, like how it was shot.
No.
I'm definitely not talking to you, Spike. It's way out of your generation.
So Johnny, so Johnny, we have Johnny Sack and Tony in the bathroom.
Look at him
having a conversation.
Hey,
yeah,
talking to a man while you shit is crazy.
That is and smoking a cigarette,
bro.
With no door.
Just wait. Yeah, just wait.
Pants by the ankle, bro. Pants by the ankle.
Yeah,
I can't do it. If I'm on the toilet in a public bathroom, I can't do it while people are in there. What do you like? You got to be so confident.
Bro, it ain't no type of conversation that we having with you shit.
Bro,
none.
My
Zero.
ass is exposed.
Zilch.
There's no way I can do this.
Your pants are around your ankles, bro. Stop talking to me.
I can't do. I feel uncomfortable. I feel abused.
Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah, bro.
That's like a nigga coming. That's like 10 empty urinals and a nigga come up to you right by the next one. Like,
next
bro,
one, like, bro, there's 10 of them, and you're next to me.
And talk.
Yeah, and talk.
Like, bro,
man,
what?
We're so jaded.
Did Johnny say, is he barebacking that toilet? Or you think he?
Oh, he's definitely barebacking.
If you, yeah,
at the Bing,
yeah,
you barebacking the toilet at the Bing, bro.
He's definitely barebacking. Like, these dudes are different guys. These guys ain't thinking about the cheeks, bro. Right. They're not thinking about their personnel like that.
Bruh, you know pants at the ankle with no door. Yes, you barebacking that shit, bruh. You barebacking.
If we're no door, pants ain't at the ankle. They're at the knees. Like I'm gonna be all right.
But nah, hold on, time out. Let's even real quick because I want to
sit down and shit it in the strip club. That's crazy.
I was just about to ask y'all, how bad do you have to shit to pull the shitter in the strip club? Like that's got to be some uncontrollable. I can't do it. Even then, I might hop in a whip and go somewhere down the street.
See, that's the thing because Johnny Sack's trying to stick his beak in. Like he talks about, like he said, I'm not trying, but like that's Johnny Sack's whole prerogative. Like I'm not leaving until I know what Jersey is doing. He lives in Jersey now, so I'm going to do a number 2.
That's cool, but you gotta take a shit here.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because that's Johnny Sack. Like, bro, I don't
that's
care.
Crazy.
Like, I gotta know what's going on with the Jersey crew because I live in Jersey, even though I'm New York. Like, that's Johnny Sack, bro. Like,
I don't even know if he wants to. You gotta think of where they are in life right now. Johnny wants to vent, like Carmine. He talking about Carmine, what's going on. I think it's more so even that. Like he just had Tony and just wanted to talk. That's why Tony was like, man, I'm trying to stay out of this shit. Tony did a great job of trying to stay neutral, this is y'all shit, not ours. Like, salute. Best of luck to you.
And you in here shitting. I ain't trying to do none of this, bro. You in here shitting. I'm gonna get back out to the business.
There's just no conversation I would ever have with any of y'all where the cheeks are exposed and you're bareback in the toilet and you're about to let your bowel move, and I'm gonna talk to you. That's just not gonna. I will look at you differently, knowing that every human being has to do this. I'm gonna look at you differently. That's never gonna happen. Like I gotta still have respect for you, so let me leave the bathroom. I gotta leave the bathroom so I can still respect you. You
like,
feel me?
I can't have a conversation with a nigga that's shitting though.
No door.
What are we talking about?
No door, bro.
Ain't you smoking a cigarette? Like, what are we doing right now?
No door. The door is all. You see my knees in the peripheral.
My drawers is right here. My
drawers
and my ankles, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Everybody out there at home, listen. We're not trying to belabor the point, but that's wild.
That is
insane, man.
I'm not comfortable.
Insane,
like, bro. My whole lower garments are at my ankles.
Yeah, like talk to me when you get through.
That's all.
That would have been my only. That would have been my only response there.
You know what?
Fuck nothing about what you saying. Hey, bro, when you get done, we can wrap outside. Just make sure you wash your hands.
You know what really bothered me the most about it? You know what really bothers me the most? It's how calm he is.
Yeah,
like
bro.
I would
This is like normal
almost
for
feel
him.
comfortable if you was like rushing on some like
Facts.
it would make it like the fact that you so calm, like you did not
like
have
you
to take
do
this
this
shit.
all the time.
Bro, I'm
Yeah.
good.
What are we
I'm
doing?
super good. Like even when
Oh,
Tony
man.
leaves, this nigga's he's just mad.
And imagine if he was tearing it down and like you like, oh my God.
Hey, yo, this the bada bing. Y'all got
Hey, what if it's a hey, hold on. Plot twist. He was taking a piss the whole time.
Ew. Yo, Johnny Sack is just I can't. There's a lot of things I can say right now that I'm not gonna say. There's a lot of things I can say right now that I'm not gonna say.
Rich,
Like, if
that's
he's sitting
even
there-
worse. That's even worse. You sitting there.
Pulling your pants all the way
only-
down, taking a squat, and say, "Hey, yo, I gotta urinate," is nuts,
I only sat down because I wanted to smoke this cigarette.
bro. Take yourself outside of the Bing, bro.
Hey man, that shit's hilarious.
Bro, that is crazy. All right.
I'll beat that nigga up.
I'm gonna be all the way real, bro. I remember as a teenager.
I'll fight you. I'll fight
Hey,
you.
I was about to say, man, I'll fight him like he did.
Yeah, we gotta
Remember
fight. We gotta go out.
beat up old dude on the way.
Yeah, we gotta go
That's
fight.
what I'm whooping your ass,
Bro, I swear. I don't know if y'all ever
pissing
had experience when
down.
you were young.
Yeah.
When you went to the bathroom,
man.
you about to hit a urinal, and you're about to hit it, and then you
Nigga had
realize
the pants all
like
way
you're not,
down.
and somebody get bro. That's exactly what pants all the way down in a urinal. You're not looking like that, but they in the peripheral, you realize like, bro, they got the t-shirt, the cheeks are out, and you're like about to go hit the urinal. Like, whoa, bro, is your aim that bad? What are we doing?
Hey man, that shit's
Bro.
silly.
Why your pants?
What is wrong? Why did you make the transition? Why did you make the transition like all of us?
I want to be. Hey, that's the type of peace I want in my life. I want to be so at peace that I can take a shit in the strip club on the bareback.
Hey, bareback. That is.
No lace on the toilet.
Hey man, we gotta go. We gotta keep going.
I'm gonna keep moving. Bareback is crazy.
God, bro.
Now, don't get me twisted. I definitely get it off from time to time, but I do
Hey,
observation first.
Hey, Rich, that's a good, bro.
That's a great.
Do you know how bad I'll fight a nigga if
bro,
you,
stop
like, if you sitting there and you pissing, sitting down, talking to me, bro.
Bro, y'all remember
kill
when that
you,
wave
nigga.
was a
Like,
thing
stop
when people were
playing with
talking
me,
about
bro.
that? Yeah, I remember that was a wave when people were talking about like, oh,
Nah,
it's better to like squat. You get everything out, like some like wave. I
ain't never
what are y'all
heard
talking
that.
about? Why are we talking about like that
And
school?
the only reason that whole thing even came in my mind because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this in real life. Like if I was Tony, if I was in a bathroom, or if I'm just fuck Tony, if I'm just me and I'm in the bathroom somewhere and this shit is going on, like what? How can this situation get worse? I'm already mad that you sitting here ass naked. Talking to me,
bro.
like what can make this worse? What can make it worse is the fact that you ain't even taking it. This is completely unnecessary. Yeah, you ain't even got to do that.
You ain't even like going like, damn, bro.
Yeah, that shit hilarious to me, man.
God, man.
I would, it's up, bro. As soon as he finished, bro, I swear on it, I would tell him, as soon as you step out this bathroom door, I'm whooping your ass.
Don't even talk to me while you
stop playing with me.
Why your legs are exposed, bro.
Oh shit, man. That's funny.
We get a few things that kind of tie in quickly. We get Tony B, and he says, "Boy, are you fat?" Which is John Gleason?
Was it Robert Van Gleason?
Robert Van Gleason and
Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason.
Whatever happened there? And
Reggie Van Gleason. I'm tripping.
Nah, who knows? Hey, whatever happened.
Yeah, it don't matter.
But yeah, Tony comes out smoking a cigar. He's in his vibe. Everybody's there. You see, all of the guys, and he says, "Boy, are you fat?" And it's a joke. And then Tony, at Soprano, immediately grabs Blundetto, and he fake slams his head on the counter or whatever. So just kind of asserting the big bro thing. Is there anything I want to take from that scene? I know it was a little brief, but
no.
Only thing is, you ain't the boss of the family. You my cousin.
Yeah.
So there's gonna have to be some line. There's gonna have to be lines drawn between that relationship.
That's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
When you arrive somewhere.
And not saying that I disrespect you, it's just I don't see you that way.
Yeah, I joke with you. Like, this is what we do. Like, and to Spike's point, it's not like I'm intentionally being disrespectful. This is literally a joke. Like, if you're telling me I can't joke with you, then damn, like,
you're
what the fuck happened?
Right.
We grew up together. We
like
together.
brothers.
I didn't know things changed for you because as far as me and you, we've always been the same. So, we go to the morning. The two Tonys talk over breakfast. Tony Blundetto wants to go legit with his massage therapy. Later down the road, you forget how close they are. But anything I want to add from this breakfast scene, Tony's kind of low-key frustration versus Tony Blundetto's ambitions to just be legit based on how much time he spent in the can.
Yeah, I feel Tony Soprano was discontent with this. Like, I finally made it to the position that you and I talked about. We were cousins. We were growing up. We knew about this game. We knew the benefits that would come from it. We knew the detriments as well. You went to jail. You came out. I put myself in this position, and now you don't even want to play the game with me, bro. Like, you want to be like some civilian. Like, they don't need, that doesn't even make sense to me, because we've been in this our whole life. And now I have the moxie to be able to be like, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And you telling me you want to massage people. Like, that has to be like a defeating feeling.
Yeah, that everything Spike just said.
I couldn't imagine that.
Those, reminds me almost like a parenting child. Like, I have the expectation of what your life's gonna look like, and when you do something different, it's disappointing. But you got to remember, it's their life. If he want to go legit, he want to go legit. But I think the reason it was such a big deal is because Tony, that's the only way Tony knows how to owe down. He knows I owe down for Tony B. I can't wait till he gets out because I'm going to put him in a position to get it. I'm put him in a position to get it. He don't want it. I don't know how to help you be a civilian. So now I got even more guilt.
Yep. I can't even use the stuff that I've done while you were away possibly for me. I can't even use that to help you.
Yeah, because this is a Tony Soprano looked at this as, this is my chance to give back for the 15 years that you went away. Yep. Like, it's not even about you helping me. It could be a mutual thing, but really I want to just put some stuff in your pocket. And Tony be like, nah, I'm cool. And it could be almost like a slap in the face. Like, imagine that, having that relationship, and I don't want to work with you. It's like me coming to y'all saying, you know what, man, y'all my boys, I don't want to power with y'all. Like, all right, cool. We got enough respect for you to say, like, good luck. We gonna support you, but at the same time, like, damn, like, what we do? Like, why you don't want to fuck with us no more?
And that's the thing, though, too. Like, and I know we'll elaborate a little bit more when we get to be revealed with the Tony Melfi session, as far as Tony Blundetto. But you got to realize, like, a lot of times when you watch it as a viewer, you got to realize, like, bro, I just did 15. I'm absolutely trying to be legit. I Feeks Lamano, I'm an old cat.
But that's crazy though.
That's not.
I think that goes back to what I said earlier.
Bro,
Tony B ain't even.
You trying to be legit? I'm the boss. Like, bro, think about this, Mo. Think about the person that you've known the longest in your life. We know the relationships that cousins have. That's the first friend that you have, right? And we've seen this shit our whole life. We know how this shit goes. I'm the boss now as your cousin. And you got all the possibilities in the world from all the things that we've ever talked about, because we've only seen Dickie Moltisanti and all these dudes be great at this. And now I got the opportunity to give you anything you want, and you tell me, oh, I want to go legit. That's insane.
That's not insane when you did 15 years. Spike, you've been to jail.
I think the
before.
biggest key,
we've all been to jail before. And so with that being said, like, I don't care how much time, if you spend a day to a few days to a week or however long it is, 15 years in jail. When you come out, you're not in a rush at all to be breaking the law and say, hey, yo, if I get caught, I don't care if my cousin is the boss. If I'm in a spot and I get caught, it ain't like you're in this thing of ours. Ain't no, oh, I'm a snitch. Oh, I'm not doing time. No, ain't none of that, bro. I'm not doing another year in jail. I did 15. I'm not doing that, bro. I gave up my youth, which is why it affects him with his children, all three of them. So it's like, bro, I'm not in a rush to go back and say, get me in the game versus Feeks Lamano. It's really not that wild for real.
There's the one big caveat that I mentioned earlier. Even though it's not revealed on the show yet, it will be later on this season. When Tony went in, he wasn't officially a part. He was a friend of theirs, but he wasn't a part of the family. He doesn't have his button. The books ain't open for him yet.
So he's not
Tony
a
B's no. Remember later in the season, Tony said, "I'm gonna see what I can do about opening up the books. It's long overdue."
Okay,
Tony didn't go in as a made guy, so I think if he did,
so
of course
that speaks more to my point then.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think if he was made, I think he would have been like Feach. He would have been like, Tony, what's the move? This is what I know. This is what I do. Okay, now, since I'm not even associated, because once you in, you in. Like, I ain't got to worry about getting out because I was never in to begin with. I can go legit and I can be cool.
See, so then that speaks more to my point when we get later down the road about like why I think it didn't work. I'm not gonna say it here, but we'll get down later in this season and why it didn't work, because that speaks more to my point. You wasn't even a made guy and how they put everything together, but we'll get there. But we love Sopranos, but there's gonna be an unbiased when we come to reviewing this. But the ladies come over to watch the film with Carmela. Only thing I got to add, y'all can add whatever y'all want. I just said, why would Carmela be talking about divorce with Janice in the room?
In front of Adrian. I said, yeah, with his sister in the room. Or even Adriana.
Well, they don't know she fed.
Adriana still talk to not even that. Like, her and Chris still date. Anything that she say, she could tell Chris, and Chris could tell Tony.
I think that's an Italian thing. And I love for like Chris Malone or any of our other listeners to say it, but it reminds me, you almost, when you watch Godfather, the whole thing with Sonny and his sister, him being mad at Carlo. If you were married, like, if that's her bride, then stay out of it. That's not your business no more.
Mm.
And I think it's kind of the same thing, because we even see it with Tony, with Bobby and Janice. Like, when he's telling Bobby, like, control your wife, he's not stepping into it. He could easily, as my sister, I can fix this problem. I can control Janice. That's your wife. That's your responsibility. I think there's a certain deference and there's a respect amongst, like, look, we still family regardless. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I get what you're saying, though. It's very interesting.
Fair enough. Adriana's with the agent, the feds. The only question I wanted to ask is, why does Aid feel like this agent is supposed to care about anything outside of the case?
It just shows how naive she is.
Mm-hmm. Same point I made at the beginning of the episode. She don't even know what she into.
She don't even know. She don't even understand the gravity of the situation. She's being really naive. She don't understand this bitch don't give a fuck about her. Like, she's only trying to close this case, and you're a part of closing this case. Yeah.
Is the agent lying about these stories?
Listen,
she may be, but it don't even
later
matter.
Later in this season, the Sopranos is so fucking great because of the small things. All the pieces matter. Shout out to The Wire. Later in this season, I forget which episode, there is a scene where the agent is driving her daughter around and like scolding her about some shit.
She said
even though she just told Adriana she don't have kids. That's just a great example of her saying, like, stop, I don't give a no. Like, we ain't getting nothing into my personal life.
Right.
Like, I'm here for the
None
job.
of this means anything to me other than the information that you're giving me.
Yeah. Like, I'll bring this back up once we have that scene. But yeah, nothing you talking about, Adriana. You here to give me information and that's it. I'm not Danielle. We ain't doing the friend shit. We ain't going shopping. Nah.
She's smooth with it too, because she floated in and out. So
she a G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
made up a whole story on the spot.
It's probably from another informant. It's crazy. It's crazy that Adriana calls Chris her soulmate. That was all on that. Like this nigga slap you up, but like he's your soulmate. It's crazy. You deserve better, Aid. The guys are playing cards. Tony Blundetto, he got some wit about his jokes. What did y'all think about this, man? This nigga pull up, Paulie say, "Hey, yo, we playing real, cards, man. You can't pay with, napkins."
Pay napkins.
And Tony B says, "You let that dry before you put on a second coat." Grandpa Monster over here. Call him Grandpa and everything.
Yeah, that's good to show he not a bitch ass nigga. Like,
yeah.
You can joke. I'm gonna joke back. It ain't no just y'all got the ups on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody gonna get it.
Yeah. And Vito too. Like pass the cars out. They ain't candy bars.
Big pause.
That's Super Bowl.
What?
Like just because the Vito scene came up, he said
I said it. Yeah, everybody can get it.
He said everybody gonna get it. I said pause.
Yeah, they definitely ain't. That ain't even the. That's just scratching the surface.
Let me ask y'all a question. I'm sure you about to get right into it, Mo.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the
massage?
How you feel about Tony reacting to the massage?
I
think it was an overreaction.
The prelude with Vito getting the massage.
It says his back been on vacation.
Like that's crazy. Like, and everybody that's listening to this and hasn't seen the other scenes, they'll know what I'm talking about. But the fact that Vito, that's the one that we got with him moaning from getting the massage was insane.
Yeah, his back.
But I think Tony was like, this made sense though. Like, bro, like, you my cousin, I'm the boss. Like, bro, I've been selling this package of you being this person when you get out, and I walk to our spot and you in here giving niggas massages. Like, nah, we're not doing this, bro.
I've always been
there's no
surprised
planet
that people
that
let
this is
them do
cool
it.
on.
What'd you say, Mo?
I've always been surprised that they let him do it.
Well, here's what it comes down to. I'm not surprised because none of them, they have no idea what it's like to be number one.
Exactly.
It's a different perspective.
But like it seemed like the way they are is just like, oh yeah, he just got out of jail. I'm gonna let him put his hands on my back.
It's not about that. This is my, like, Tony, everything, especially
spot. You giving niggas massages.
No,
this ain't that.
Y'all missing what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Tony Soprano. I'm talking about Vito, Paulie, and Seal. I'm surprised that they actually let him massage them.
Yeah, we saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing. I'm not surprised at that.
Saying the same thing.
Why are you not surprised?
Because, like, this is what, like, first of all, we're not doing anything. We back here playing cards. You got a massage shit. We about to do it. We know you. You know, like you some stranger off the street and say, hey, I'm trying to start my little business. How about I can give some massages out? You tell your friends about it. Nah, like, all right, cool. Like, we ain't doing nothing anyway. And you actually good? Like, shit. You see Seal in there like, man, Tony, he's good. Because they look at him as a friend. Tony's like, this is a place of business, bruh. Like, y'all playing, man. I need y'all on alert. I don't need y'all laxing some shit go down. All y'all motherfuckers up here trying to figure out what's next. Like, bro, keep this shit professional, man. Like, I don't ask if y'all to do much, but you ain't in. I think the bigger issue with this is my establishment. Like, anything that goes on outside of the norm needs to be ran by me. Like, I need to approve this. Like, don't be coming out. You just came home, man. It's no different than somebody coming to stay with you for a couple weeks. Like, after a while, bro, don't get too comfortable, man. Like, it ain't no problem for you being here, but you got to know your limits, and we shouldn't have to have that conversation. You should just know that.
Don't be walking around with your shirt off, my daughter and my wife in here.
Yeah, like, what you want? Like, there's a certain things that you just like, all right, man, what you doing? Like, it's not a big deal, but the fact that I didn't sanction it is an issue for me. Because now, if I don't say something about this, then you're going to be doing something else.
Crazy.
Mo, you wild.
That nigga put it in the text message.
Hey,
crazy.
you feel me? Like, I just said, I was like, what the? Anyway, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, y'all make great points. We'll address that when the time comes.
He about to run. Drake. Hey, Mo about to rush through this episode, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mo about to record now.
Now I'm
looking at my now I'm looking at my text messages, wondering why people been texting me like this for the last 10 minutes. Now you threw the whole shit off, Mo.
I didn't put in your text messages.
Drake fans, bro. But you put it right here that made me check my text to be like, oh well, why these people texting me? Like
so I got that kind of influence.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I respect you like that, bro.
I appreciate it. Look at it. Hey, that was you.
I'm just saying.
You blew my
you
mind
said
when
that,
you just said that. You blew my
you
mind. When you said that. I thought you were gonna go somewhere else.
And now I got like 40 different text messages, like a heart part 6.
Oh, you got 40. You that dude for real. You got 40. You that dude.
I do, but
now look at him. Look at him. He that dude. Like,
let's get back to what we do.
What are you gonna do? All right, let me get.
Yeah, what we gonna do? Yeah, like
what are you gonna do? I mean, what do you want from me?
I've been ignoring the shit out of my text. I was wondering why my shit was going crazy while we was talking here.
I didn't even know. I got one text. That was it. It was one text.
Nah, I got Plenty of different ones, right?
Well, yeah, y'all get it. By the time y'all hear this Monday, y'all understand what we were alluding to. We do a good job of not spoiling things, so y'all know what we're alluding to by the time y'all hear this episode. But yeah, I do like Tony B.
What y'all think about what did you think about the conversation that Tony had with Tony B about I'm the boss now, you can't be playing with me like this, no jokes, none of that shit. What
I
do y'all
think
think about that?
he was on. It was on brand. I think that you do have to get that established. I don't like how emotional Tony was about it, but that it fits the bill. But I don't like he was so emotional about it. But I think it was just like, hey. I think it should have been more of like, hey, cuz, like, look, I ain't gonna be no fat jokes. Ain't gonna be no joking on me. I'm the boss. Like I get
like
it. I know I liked it. I did like it because I'm like I get where he's coming from. Because later when he makes the phone call, he's like, hey, look, I don't mind that because, and this is a deeper conversation. Was like when you got somebody's close to you, they know you, and so you need people like that around. However, when I'm doing and establishing things this way, don't joke on me like that. But we'll get there as far as like when
Great
he
point.
has
I
a call
think
with
even
Tony
with
B.
the people that know you, it still has to be some sort of
Boundaries.
like we can't do this in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool when me and you right here joking, Mo, but when it's 40 other people who are invested in growing a podcast or growing this shit, like me and you can't joke with each other. Like, oh, you're fat. Like you can't do that. Like we not doing that, bro. And I need, as the boss, I need to tell you that. So I thought this was a dope scene.
It reminds me of the Another Week in the Books episode. Everybody should check out Another Week in the Books podcast hosted by Mo and Spike Lee.
Thank you, sir.
When you were Spike, you had mentioned something about those arguments. Like, hey, bro, we on the same team. We ain't gonna do this on the field. We can do this in the locker room. There's just certain things. I think Mo, you were alluding to some talks you had with the bros and stuff like that, and it's just like certain things are for certain places. Certain discussions are for certain places. They ain't for all the ears and stuff like that. So that's a great pull there. One of my favorite parts about this scene is Tony B. We kind of see who he is a little bit. Like Tony B. Like you crowded me. Like,
what
bro,
does he mean by that?
like calm the fuck down. Back up out my space, bro. You crowded me.
Okay.
Like this ain't even that deep to me. Like you can be. I'm just now understanding how serious you take this and how upset you are. But give me my space, bro, because I'm still Tony B.
Was it believable?
Yes, this was good.
To their background, I think the look on his face.
It set the tone for the
again, like, oh yeah, for what Steve could get accomplished. But again, that moment, if they had a different actor, I feel like it would have been more believable. Like, hey, bro, you crowded
at this
me.
point, I think you disrespecting him. You disrespecting Steve Buscemi at this point.
It's just Steve Buscemi's for this world doesn't fit.
It does.
It's not that Steve Buscemi couldn't, like, if he plays a character like whatever he played, Bumpy or whatever the character is he played for the other show or whatever. Like, I'm not saying he ain't believable in it, but I think this world, it's like I don't believe when you say you crowded me. Like, we're supposed to be Tony Blundetto's his big cousin, right?
They like a couple months apart. Like brothers.
Okay,
yeah,
so
they like siblings pretty much.
Like siblings, but like it's just every time it's just like I just don't believe it. Like I don't know, bro. Like I got cousins where I had bigger cousins older than me. Was like they definitely checked me when we were young. And I was like, okay, let me fall back because I don't really know their capabilities. It's just never believable for me. I'm sorry. Like and it's not him. It's just a casting thing. It's not that Steve Buscemi did a bad job. He did a great job because I see what he did. The eyes look serious, everything about it. But it's just the casting choice. I'm not gonna try to over belabor that, but I definitely gotta establish that. That's all.
I felt like that the first couple of times watching the series.
When did that change for you?
When I recognized how good of an actor Steve Buscemi was. Like I definitely have been to the place that you're at with this, as far as this is not the right person for it. But then looking at him play different roles, look at him play this role, it make a lot of sense as far as like the greatness that he brought to this. A lot of people couldn't have did that. Like I can't just go grab some random Italian actor and get him to do this. It may not look right. There are a lot of great ones, but he's good. He's really good. And that's why he keep getting booked for jobs.
Fair enough.
Timeline going crazy, right?
Aid and Tina. Chris is getting his flirt on, and Chris wants to perform as a man with Tina. Anything I want to add to that other than that it's super heavy flirtation?
I just don't know how Adriana let that shit slide.
Bro.
Yeah,
Well,
Adriana
she
was
did. She
some
didn't
bitch
though.
shit. She was on
She
some
didn't.
bitch shit right now.
Nah, she no. What
But
I'm
nah, right
saying
in her
is,
face, she did though. That was
yeah, you playing in
petty.
my
At that,
face.
Like this,
at
like
that
don't go
moment, she
tell the
did.
feds.
You
Yeah,
the
like,
maid of
say
honor.
something. Say something right here. Like what are we doing?
Now, don't get it twisted. I want everybody to be clear. Chris out of pocket too.
He way out of. He was
Chris
out of pocket
too.
before.
So it's not just on Abe, but I'm just saying, like I'm genuinely surprised. I don't know how many men can do that in front of that lady, and then there won't be a blow up. Like there won't be a drink thrown in somebody's face. You ain't getting kicked out. Nothing.
Somebody
Like not even an
hey
man. Don't talk to him like that. Like one of them. Don't play like I don't care if that's your personality. We ain't doing that.
No, Chris.
I'm just
was
surprised there
all
wasn't
in.
a check.
Chris was
Chris
all
would've-
in.
like that drink out of mouth.
Yeah.
Chris was definitely trying to mash the potatoes, bro. Like no doubt. Like he probably was more interested in that than the Gumar he had. Like, oh, this is more of a challenge and something I'm more interested in. So, forget little Paulie. We go to the next scene. Tony's in the office. It looks like the back of the bada bing.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite moments.
Hey, who knows? It may be the best line of the episode for me. Who knows? But of course he says, "Man, I'm coming in late all night, man. I'm banging women, do what I want to do." And Silvio said, "Hey, what's the difference? It's your mindset." Oh, and then they think Jack might be a rat. Anything I want to add to this scene?
Nah.
Good see. No, good see.
I do like Silvio in the green with the green and white tie. I'm a big fan of green. Green don't get enough love in this space as far as clothing. So I like green.
I just love the real time decisions that have to be made. Yeah. Like when you're in, sometimes because of the Sopranos and the way it's told, the way the story's told, how it focuses on family and other aspect outside of this part of the mob. When this part does come, it's a good realization or a good remembrance of, this is the difference between all of us going away or us being free. Yeah. Like not only do we have to figure this out, we got to figure it out quick. And just Tony's look, and he's trying to downplay it. Then he's like, hold on, let me rethink everything that I've been talking to him about. We got to find out what's going on. Mm-hmm. I just like that part of it. How quickly it's like, I can't let this go for a week. Like I need to find out now if we need to make a decision about this dude.
Yeah, I like it. We get a small scene. Carmela sees the DVD player is gone. In the next scene, Tony meets with Jack Masserone, and he feels for a wire as he embraces him. And this is the only thing I want to add to the scene. Y'all can add what y'all want between the two. Jack should have did something with his hair, make with that excuse of the Rogaine, coming back with the hat again. Is there anything I want to add between the Carmela DVD player missing, the conversation that him and Carmela had really quickly on the phone, like I'm not getting lawyers involved, and then the Jack Masserone?
Right on brand for Tony, just super petty.
Right.
I bought this for us to watch as a family. We ain't a family no more. Fuck you and your girls' night. And I think Jack is just out of his element, man. Jack don't know what's going on. Like he getting pressed by the feds. He don't know how to shake down Tony Soprano. This is Tony Soprano, man. I done this a million times. So I don't even know if he even thought about any kind of alternate angles. Cause he in a jam. Like he's just trying to get out of it. The Fed, we got to remember, if he's working with the feds, I mean the feds got him on something.
Yeah. For sure.
He's not built for that life to kind of figure out what the next step is and play chess and how to eliminate both them problems at once. Like, nah. So if he's not looking at it from that angle, it's just easier for him to just fall trapped to. I mean, we see how he ends up.
Nice. Tony's at the Bing, and he came back. He fussing like he basically couldn't tell if Jack Masserone was a snitch or not. We see Tony go back and forth emotionally. And me personally, I feel like this is another moment of early signs of his diagnosis. Anything I want to add to this scene?
Said it looked like I lost some weight.
Right. Do you think that they were saying like, oh yeah, he's definitely a rat?
Goes back to the picture. Like he's doing things outside of the realm of our conversation. of our relationship, should I say. Why would he be doing these things?
Right. Like, what is all this about?
Yeah. Something deeper. You're trying to butter me up for something. The hat thing, sometimes it's enough to know I've got enough information to move forward. Maybe I'll never know 100%, but this 75% is good enough for me if it means I got to go away for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Carmela and the girls, because they don't have the VCR or the DVD player, Ro and Adriana, she's telling them why Angie Bompensero isn't allowed because of what Big P did being a rat. And Adriana gets emotional about it. Anything I want to add at that point of this thing?
Ah, man. She just in.
No, that's it.
Guilty.
Fair enough. We get a short scene of Tony, and Tony's doing. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Tony grabs the Rat Pack painting. He's moving it around. He must be. He hella slapped. Obviously he was on the sauce. I don't know how much more to add to that other than him just moving the Rat Pack picture around. And then we go back to Adriana, and she's breaking down, and she was about to tell them about she's not who they think she is. She's a phony. And she runs out and falls. And bro, I'm sorry, this is not so. I don't know if this is meant to be as funny as it is.
I laugh every time,
bro.
I wonder, was it meant to be? Like, did she fall for real?
Bro, this is funnier than when the chair broke in the Crazy Horse. Like, this was so funny to me. I'm sorry, and I love my women. Like, we love you, women. But like, bro,
it's the way she felt too. It's like she
that's
felt
what I'm
down,
saying. It's like, dog,
it's like it was a legit accident,
bro. If you fall like that, I will put you in a chokehold and take your keys. Nigga, you think it's a game, bro? You think you're gonna drive after you fall like that? I'm gonna put you in the choke. Hey, grab her keys. I'm not letting you leave, bro. For real. I know how it goes.
For real. I'm not letting you leave until you tell me what's going on.
Right.
Like, what's up? Maybe not them. Maybe not Adriana. Given their relationship, they're not as close to where somebody would pull her aside, like, "Yo, you all right?" But that's alarming, especially in the world we live in, and what we're used to, and what we know. Like, you acting real weird. Like, what's going on with Shorty?
For sure. Tony calls Tony B. They're having a conversation. It's obviously late. Tony B is in his mom's basement or whatever, but he's getting his rest on. Anything that stands out to y'all? Tony has a great line here. But anything that stands out to y'all?
Which Tony?
Tony Soprano. How Carmela goes from 0.
Oh yeah.
Anything y'all feel the need to add to that?
Just the whole episode, man, sums up what we've been trying to do. Tony Soprano is also trying to figure out how to reestablish his relationship. I think, your best friend being gone for 15 years is an adjustment period. They're not the same person. You're not the same person. So I'm slapped enough to kind of call you and apologize. And it's like that sometimes. There's certain relationships you have with people where you can snap on them and then be like, "Look, man, I'm not trying to do that. Like, it's really, trust me, it's all love. Like, I too don't know how to go about this. This is not what I envisioned. Like I said earlier, I did not envision you to come home and want to go legit. Like, so give me some grace as I learn how to reestablish our relationship as well." Exactly. Yeah, that in Tony's own way, that was him doing that. That's what that call was.
Yep.
We get a few scenes. Tony in the morning, he's looking at himself, just kind of looking at his weight. Another scene, the art gets thrown out of the window at night when Jack Masserone is found dead in the trunk. And Adriana is with the agent, and she tells the agent about her friend Tina Francesco. Anything I want to add between those last 3 to 4 scenes?
Nah, not really. I mean, we seen what happened. We seen with Ray, and we see. I think the most important part of all those scenes is at the end. Adriana's last meeting with the agent. Like, we've been saying all episode, man, she's in over her head. She don't know what's going on. After that meeting, at the Soprano residence and her running out like that, now she has a full understanding of this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't half step no more. Like if I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing it whatever. Like I'm not gonna stress myself even more about a situation I can't change.
Why do you think she was so comfortable with the Fed at this point, as far as like really
She's a nomad, I think. I don't think she knows where she belongs anymore. I think that meeting over there let her realize that she's not a part of that. Once she found out what happened to Angie, like she realized she has no control. So now my best option is maybe to be the best asset I can to the feds. And hopefully when all of this blows over, me and Chris can get out of Dodge. They can put us in WITSEC and do whatever. Like I want them, when it comes down to that time, because that day is coming. When it comes down to that, I want them to be like, you know what, she did enough to where we can look out for her, make sure she's safe, make sure Chris safe, whatever the case is. I think she really realized like I have nowhere to go. I'm not going to get even a 1% chance over on this side if they find out what's happening. So I might as well put all my interest in this other side and hope for the best.
Facts.
That's fire.
And
yeah,
obviously, fuck her. Fuck my homegirl, man. She up here trying to fuck my dude, man. I'm giving you her.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was all like, bro,
out.
that part, bro.
Yeah.
And that's our episode, man. We thank y'all for tuning in again, of course, for episode 2, Rat Pack of season 5. Before we get out of here, we always like to leave y'all with the rankings, and we like to address it at the end of the season as far as what are the best of the best. So before we get out of here, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode? Is it just another envelope, a good earner, or is it a made episode?
This is a made episode for me as far as the setup, like as far as the chessboard, as far as the even introducing the chick that we see with the phone book later on. Like all of this stuff is Lorraine, excuse me. All of this stuff is amazing in the sense of we talk about the different phases of the Sopranos. This is one of the episodes that leads into that phase of the next, Sopranos experience that we have. I love this episode. This is a made episode.
Wow. This is probably gonna be one of your lower maids when we look at the whole series. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it though. I'm not mad at it.
This fucking guy, man.
My guy Spike Lou. Rich, how do you rank this episode, man?
It's a good earner.
Okay.
I enjoy it. It's way too much in it for it to be just another envelope. I could see if somebody did rate it that, just because it is more of a setup episode, but it was one of the better setup episodes that they had. We get the first screen time for Tony B and for Phil Leotardo. Like I said, things ramp up in the next episodes, but it's a good earner for me.
Is it better?
So it's a very complete
than last episode.
Man. Last episode, all right. No, in my opinion, no. I personally prefer the last episode, but I will say this. Here's the reason why it's easy to say that. This episode is just a very good, clean, complete episode. Like, you're not gonna get a ton of scenes that blow you away. There's not a ton of scenes in this episode that you're going to YouTube to look up. But if you look at this episode as a whole from start to finish, and then look at the rest of this season, it's like season 2 of The Wire. Like, you need it.
This is why I love this episode. It ties so many things in, and you get to see this is the very beginning of the biggest conflict that Tony had over the last season and a half. Like, this starts the New York conflict. This is Carmine, with Johnny Sack, and even with Phil being introduced. Like, all of this shit starts everything that was a thorn in Tony's side for the rest of the episodes to come, which is why I rate it so high.
Here's the crazy part. This episode to me is not better than the first episode of Two Tonys. But I'm going to give it a higher ranking. It's a good earner. And the reason it's a good earner is really for the same reason that I have an issue from casting, is the same reason that I have a praise for the casting as well. It's just the work that Steve Buscemi did from a reactionary standpoint of where he was status-wise. But I'll speak a little bit more to that when we talk more about the rankings. Spike Lou, who gets a good earning chain for this episode?
The good earner chain for this episode goes to Johnny Sack, man. I'm laying my foundation down. Fuck this little Carmine Jr. nigga. Like, I don't care what he got going on. I'm at the funeral, popping my collar, shaking people's hands. I'm letting y'all know I'm next in line. He ain't got nothing to do with this. So
Man,
definitely.
that's a great pick, bro.
Thank
What
you.
say you, Rich?
I love that pick. I want to change it. I want to take Johnny Sack too.
No
For the answer is it's low hanging fruit. It's Tony B. Welcome home. You're getting out of jail. You're reestablishing. Even if you don't know what the status of your relationship is, it is nice to know that your cousin is running shit. So worst case scenario, if I do need something, even if it's help on the legitimate side, I can go to him. But obviously after 15 years and getting reestablished, the time that they spent hyping this character up, as you said, Mo, giving us a clear outline and storyline in his very first appearance. I think it's a big win. We know that this is somebody to keep an eye on for this season. But Johnny Sack is the right answer. That's a great.
It really is. I'm gonna go even wilder. Adriana Lacerva.
Okay.
Because I'm the captain now. Oh yeah, you want to holler at my man? Okay, watch this.
Yeah, that's nasty work.
Watch this. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Now you in federal paperwork. That shit,
bro. Now you can't leave.
Nasty.
So Adriana Lacerva for like dropping the info on Tina at the end of the episode. Spike Lou, who gets a Broken Balls award? Who took the biggest L this episode, man?
Broken Balls award, the biggest L this episode, I would say, is Carmine Jr., man.
Yeah.
Johnny Sack flexed on him, bro.
Yeah.
He definitely did.
I ain't even trying to hear what you're saying in the funeral. Like, bro, get out of my face. Yeah.
Great pick.
That's the answer.
You, Big Rich?
That's the answer.
Look Carmine.
Anytime you ain't making your own moves and you worried about the next man's moves, you lost.
You
already behind the 8 ball.
I want to go Carmella for losing the DVD player.
That's a good one though. Because man, this shit ain't sweet over here. It ain't what you thought it was.
Yeah, you thought it was gonna be a consistent hangout. It ain't that. That nigga pulled up quietly and took the DVD player out.
Because you wouldn't think somebody would be that petty.
Bro, that's what makes it so good. Like it's like
you know he's that petty. You know he's that petty, but you're like, he ain't gonna do that to me.
Nah. But he did. Man,
and you gotta think about it. Like AJ probably told him, like, yeah, I got kicked out of my house. They doing movie nights. They doing movie nights in the theater room.
Yeah, that's
right. I know what time she go to get groceries. I'm pulling up. I'm taking all that shit.
You know what, Bumpin'? I'm going Carmella. Like I think we all kind of cooked on that. Spike Lou, what is the best line that stood out to you? I asked y'all earlier, what's the bar for this episode for you that like was like a good line?
He's handsome. He makes money. He's funny. He's got good hair. I couldn't help but think of myself with this, man. So I
thought Dar Schwab over here.
I couldn't help
Tyson Bedford over here.
The line of the episode, man.
So give me the line again so I can put it in our notes. He's handsome.
He's handsome. He makes money. He's funny. He's got great hair. You don't know what it's like out here. I feel like she was talking about me, man.
That's fire. I like that though.
My dog Spike Lou.
And my nigga. That's fire right there. This is something we implemented this season, y'all. So y'all hopefully I enjoying that. Best line, the best bar for this episode for you, Rich.
Mine is more subtle. It's just funny because if this was a real conversation that I witnessed, I would be laughing my ass off. But it was when Chris and Adriana were in their room, their apartment, after being at the club, and Chris is going off about Tina. And Adriana just had a subtle line where she looks, she's cunt. That's my maid of honor, Christopher. Like my man is just dogging her shit. She had her like, you dog her. She about to stand next to me on the biggest day of our lives, and you calling her to see you next Tuesday. I just thought that was hilarious. Because I'm like, yo, Chris is hilarious, man. Like, it just Adriana's response, like, any other relationship would have been a bigger outlet, but she just looked at him like, "Are you serious right now?" I just thought that line was hilarious.
My honorable mention, because I really was gonna go here, because I know the typical. My line is obviously like would still say, "What's the difference?" I don't know. It's a mindset. Like, I've been championing that line for the longest since season 1. But my runner up was gonna be Bobby Bacala Jr. when he says, "Man, we never even heard of you." When Tony B was at his celebration, like he's like, "I was gone away from business." He was like, "Oh, we never even heard of you." Like, "Hey, bro, get your little nigga, bro. Like, get your little kid, because kids are gonna keep it a bean.
Disrespecting me like this.
Yeah, kids is gonna keep it a bean every time. Like, so that was almost my line, but it's a mindset from Tony. I've been driving that line for the longest. And lastly, Spike Lou, what was your favorite moment from this episode?
My favorite moment from this episode when Tony realized that my man was snitching on him and threw the picture over the New York bridge right there.
Oh, when he found out. Got you.
Fuck all this bullshit, nigga. You trying to give me these fake gifts? I'm throwing this in a river and I'm killing you. That was my favorite moment.
Okay, I like that when Tony threw the Rat Pack picture over the
Yes.
What
middle of the night? Middle of the night. I gotta get this done now.
And now, what say you, Rich?
For me, it's the funeral. It's Carmine Sr.'s funeral. It's just a perfect way of asserting your dominance. The way Johnny Sack came in with everyone, the way he played dumb about, the rosary on Carmine Sr., just the mind games, getting Carmine out of his element. It's just mental gymnastics. And I thought he moved like a boss. Like, you can't watch that scene. Let me say it this way. If you watch that scene and I tell you, as somebody who's never seen the show, and I say, "Hey, tell me who takes the New York crown," I think it's very clear who the winner of that's going to be, just based off of that scene alone. And I think that's how much of a boss he moves like. Not to say anything about little Carmine, because little Carmine, he ain't no slouch, as we find out later in the season. But Johnny walked him down like Kenny did Drake. Kenny Sack.
Yeah, you definitely on Kenny.
Drake ain't no slouch. Drake ain't no slouch like Carmine. He ain't no slouch.
Right. You on Kenny?
He can't walk down.
Right.
You can't walk down.
Oh. Yeah, you like that?
Well played, my friend. Well played. Now I gotta take you. Now I gotta take you outside Satrials and tell you not to joke with me like that.
I love it, man. These guys, man. Lastly, before we get out of here, my favorite scene is Tony B surprise party at Vesuvio's. Man, I loved it. He had the 80s swag on, and just Steve Buscemi's choices of like processing the fact that the twins are not there, processing the fact that Kelly's not there. And he got to and even when he later talks to Tony, just like, what do you want to do? Her father was in jail. Like, just how he processed it. He did a really great job of the civilian side of it. That's why I appreciate from Steve Buscemi. But nonetheless, man, that's our episode, man. We greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, I hope that y'all Mafia/Melfi Mondays have been dope. If y'all want to reach out, just talk about what we said on the episode, or y'all just want to show love, we're on Apple as well as Spotify. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, all those great things. We're also on YouTube. If y'all want to see the visual, we're there as well. Y'all can hit us up, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. If y'all don't have an email for whatever reason, which is crazy, y'all can hit us up on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos. We would definitely respond on air. So don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. We appreciate our supporters. We appreciate y'all listening. And remember, don't forget about it.